Hi, everybody. Right, this is annoying as always. Turn that down. Hi, everyone. I hope you're all right. Can you hear me? Beverly, how did you say hi before I went live? That's intriguing. Did you go live and you could hear me rattling on? I'm intrigued as to how you did that. Hi everyone. Hi Hazel. Hi Beverly. So we're definitely live over on YouTube. If you're live on Facebook, can you let me know? That would be great. It's definitely not come in yet. So let's give it a few minutes. You know what Meta's like to mess us around. You're not on proper Facebook. What are you on? I've got Angela in my she's on business Facebook. You're on business Facebook. I see. I can see people on Facebook now. Hi Tony. Hi Jackie. How are you doing? I hope everybody is okay. Hi Samantha. Right, so we are now live on Facebook and YouTube. If you are live with us on Facebook, you need to put us horizontally, please, and that apparently improves the way, I don't know, to improve something. What does it improve? How big things are. When I make the screen bigger later, put two screens in, you can see a bit better. Hi Candy, how are you doing? Beverly's on both Facebook and YouTube. Very organized, Beverly, very organized. So hi, this is our mega bead live, which I put off twice last week. So I do apologize for messing everybody around. Firstly, hi Kay, how are you doing? And thank you for joining me this evening. I don't imagine it will be quite as mega as it was last week, because it would have been last week, because obviously I cancelled it twice. And I cancelled it, unfortunately, because I had a cold and I just couldn't do it. So, and if anyone knows me, which I'm sure over the years, lots of you have got to know me, is that I don't like being ill. That really annoys me. And I can't accept it. So I think, no, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be fine. And then at the last minute, I'm like, no, I'm not fine. And then, so I said, no, we're going to do it on Friday. I'll be absolutely 100% better by Friday, only to discover that on Friday afternoon, I really didn't feel very well. So, Ken, I can see you. I can see you, Ken. Don't let it take you away. So, hi, Tracy. I'm not 100% recovered. I have to say that I've still got a bit of a cold, so it will come and go. I've got my tissues here, and very, very, very tired. But it's just a cold, guys. It's not the end of the world. I'm going to see it through. It's absolutely fine. So it's all good. So Beverly says the way she got in early there, she was waiting and it said others were waiting. So you just typed hello and it told me you were there. That's clever. Hi, Elysian. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So thank you to everybody for coming in today instead of last week. I really, really appreciate it. We had put together for you last week, which is now this week, a massive bead live with over 100 new beads. So it's very, very, very impressive. You've got some fabulous, fabulous beads in here. Then last week, we didn't manage to do half the marketing. This week, I've done a little bit more, but not an awful lot more, I must say. So hopefully you've seen them come and go. And thank you so much to the fabulous team here at Chalmers Gems who managed to get them onto a pop-up shop for you over the weekend. And lots of people purchased from the pop-up shop, which we really appreciate, instead of coming on the live. Hopefully you're now here to do both. Or you missed the pop-up shop, I don't know. So they did go onto the pop-up shop over last weekend. Now, the bead strands we've got here are samples of each strand. These beads are not here in the UK, only one of each strand. So there will be an estimated 6 weeks delivery. And so this is quite clever, because what they're doing for us is they are shipping us everything new and everything that I like in the marketplace, so that you can buy it, and then we're going to just buy what we've sold and it will get shipped over to the UK. So there is an estimated 6 week delivery. I imagine it will be less than that, but saying that, we lost a week due to the illness, and China is actually closed at the moment. So when it comes back up and running, they will get them over to us as soon as possible. So make sure you are aware that there is an estimated 6 week delivery period. Thank you. Debbie says, by the way, I got my dragons, the strawberry quartz and silver obsidian are oh my God, stunning. Over the moon, Debbie says. Thank you very much, Debbie. Hi, Catherine. Thank you very much. Thank you, Carol. I am better. And hi, Rani, I am feeling much, much better. So thank you to everybody. Now, if you've seen our stories this week, I went out fossiling yesterday. So I thought I'd just start by boring you all with my geekiness before everybody's in. And so I went out fossiling yesterday to a secretly location in the UK. So the fossiling, I go out with the fossil experts. I met a new expert yesterday and he was absolutely fascinating. A real geek. He was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And they go fossiling in very remote, specific locations, which are top secret. So you have to get invited in. So I always feel like I'm one of the privileged ones. So there are fossiling locations all over the UK that you can find on the internet, and there are some which the fossil geeks keep to themselves, and it's like a top secret thing. So I did share some photos of me with some of the fossils, but obviously no location of where we were, and I'm not going to be able to share that with you, I'm afraid. But we have a tiny window to go fossiling in this particular place, and so we went out. And it was great. And so Beverly's saying, how were the fossils in the field or on the surface? Now, the great thing about this is they are sometimes a little bit buried in the field, but they are on the surface of the field. So the video that I put out, because Lisa asked me earlier, that you're walking along and there's one just looking at you. It's going, hi, I'm 200 million years old, pick me. So, and it's really quite incredible. You're walking along and there are these fossils, absolutely brilliant. So we got some really good fossils, and the fossil expert that I was with, he actually knew all the names of all the fossils and could date them and name them and everything. And I was like, how do you do that? But he'd been doing it since he was 8. So, and had some very naughty stories of the extreme lengths that these fossil geeks go to get fossils. And so he said it's similar to crystallography, and he was a geologist as well. That the actual formation of the fossil tells him what type of fossil it is and then how many years old it is. But so this one's covered in mud. Now I've got mud all over my desk. But look at that. And you're just walking along and they're just slightly buried in the mud. But just in that video, as you saw, you're just walking along and there's one just looking at you. And I absolutely love these baby ones. Love the baby ones because I think we're going to be able to make them into jewelry. So the next step for them now is for them to go and get cleaned up by our other fossil expert, who's the fossil cleaner, and he will clean them up and take off all of the excess rubbish, really. And then we will be left. So that apparently under here is going to be really, really beautiful. And then we're going to be left with an absolutely beautiful ammonite. And what I'm going to do then is I'm going to get our fossil. I mean, look at this one. It's just as well I'm not into fossils. Otherwise, we'd have a whole other obsession going on. Look, you can see all the seams. Can you see them? All the little sutures there. That's just incredible. Anyway, then what we're going to do is he has kindly said that he will tell me the names and the years of all of them, and then we'll bring them to you so you can purchase some if you want to. And I'm definitely going to have some for my collection, which I'm not collecting them, but apparently I might need to keep a couple. So yeah, we're going to get apparently the back of that one because it's absolutely perfect. Look at the keel all the way round. They're so beautiful. We got so many as well. It was so much fun. So, and there's only a tiny window to get these fossils. So we're going to, well, I'm hoping we're going to go out another time. If they invite me again, I was trying not to be a nuisance. So I try and behave really well and not get too excited because I'm the only woman that I ever see there. And I think me bouncing about going, oh, look, I've got one, is probably a bit irritating. So I have to try and tone it down. But they make fabulous noises when they get them. They're like, yay, look at this one. And I'm like, they're definitely my kind of people, definitely. Anyway, that was a bit about the fossiling. So I'm just bragging there, really. Alicia says, I went fossiling a few weeks ago. So much fun. Did you, Alicia? Where did you go? So mine was not coastal, most are coastal. We love fossil hunting. You usually go along the Jurassic coast, Catherine says. So that's where I've done a lot of fossiling before. That's where my massive fossil, my 30-kilo fossil came from. That was Lyme Regis. So Tara says fossils are precious. And apparently the UK has the world's best fossils, the best ammonites. That's what we've got. And I was like, the information this guy was giving me was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Hi, Jill. Thank you very much. Hi, Sheena. Hi, Karen. Hi, Agnes. So that was exciting. Now, in other news, parking my fossil extravaganzas, we're going to talk a little bit about the metal prices. I think that we need to touch on this because we're going to sell some beads today to all of the people who like to make jewelry. And I think the metal prices are scaring the pants off of everybody at the moment. So I thought we'd do a little bit of information about the metal prices because they are quite daunting. And if you're into making jewelry, you will see that it has gone a bit insane out there in the marketplace. So Alicia's been to Whitby. I only stepped in one rock pool as well. Oh, well done. So it's quite fun. They're called Whitby Dacks, those little ones in Whitby, Elysian. And I've been out looking for those. I found them, they were quite difficult to find because I think a lot of tourists try and collect them now. So you have to wait till after the bad weather, I think. But I'll be there. If they're there in December, I'd go. I don't care what the weather is. Anyway, metal prices, not getting distracted by the fossils. So at the moment, we are working in a marketplace that is becoming extremely difficult because the metal prices are increasing dramatically. Now, this has some huge positives and some huge negatives. And unfortunately, in our world of jewelry making, it makes things a little bit tricky because the cost of the metal is going up so considerably that it's quite scary, actually. It's moving so fast. It jumped up £17 overnight the other day. You know, it's going up really, really fast. So I thought we'd just touch on that a little bit and give you some information and how not to panic is the plan. Hi, Heather. How are you doing? So I got some statistics for you so that you've got things right. So I will talk gold and silver. So gold prices October 24 were $2,721 an ounce. October 25, $3,861 an ounce. So over $1,000 an ounce more, which is petrifying. So that is a big jump. Now, silver normally follows the trend of gold, but not as severely. So it's not such a problem. And all of us silver makers and people who are at that end of the marketplace don't panic as much as the goldsmiths. So, but the silver has gone from $32 an ounce to $47 an ounce. So that's October 24 to October 25. So again, you're looking at a $15 an ounce increase. That is actually year to date on gold is a phenomenal investment. If you've been buying gold, you're going to be quids in. A 42% increase in the price of gold year to date, October year to date. And for silver, this is the scary part. I don't think in my lifetime, definitely not, I don't think we've ever seen jumps in prices of silver like this. 55% increase in the price of silver. Well, what that actually translates to all of you guys out there working with silver is that it's becoming very difficult. You can't necessarily buy the silver that you like to make with. Maybe you're looking at making with other metals or other options there. It's becoming really expensive. Even things like silver solder, the price is impacted on because there is genuine silver in the silver solder. So it's impacting across the board and it's just making it a little bit tricky for everybody. And I think that these massive price jumps are making everybody a little bit nervous because you don't know what to sell your jewelry for. So if there's a tiny price increase as normal and the price sort of gradually creeps up, you can often hide that in the price of the jewelry and just think, well, I don't want to be greedy, so I won't lose, I'll just lose a bit of margin and I'll keep on selling my jewelry at the right price. But with a 55% increase, it means that you have to increase the price of your jewelry. There is no option because you're not going to make any money unless you do that. So you need to do that. So ideas of how to manage the situation would be to try and work with a lighter weight pieces. Be very careful what you're doing with your metal. Try not to waste very much metal. So that's quite crucial now. Whereas before you might be able to snip a bit off and let it fly across the room. You now need to go and find that little piece of money and put it back in the pot. So be careful. I do think cleverly, reduce the weight of some of the items that you're making. Please do feel free to comment with any hints and tips that you also have. Don't leave this all up to me. So just be really conscious what you're doing, particularly with your silver. Make sure you keep your scrap. It's absolutely crucial, more crucial than ever. Put your scrap into a pot, just put it all in. Don't worry about it. Sweep it up at the end of every make and put it into a pot. You can then send that pot of what looks like rubbish and dust out to a company like Pressman Mastermelt or to Cooks and Gold, and they will refine the metal out. So if you just use your sweepings alone, you'll probably find you've got a few quid there in sweepings. You can stick in there, wipe all your surfaces with baby wipes. Get a baby wipe at the end of every day and wipe down your bench, wipe your tools, wipe your files, wipe everything with a baby wipe. Put the baby wipe in the pot. Make sure you're saving as much because there's metal dust in there and they will refine that out. So don't worry that you're putting rubbish in the pot. You're not putting rubbish in the pot. They're going to be able to refine the metal out of there. So these things are done by the jewelry industry in the big manufacturing plants already. So you're just going to use these little tips to start making sure that you can collect as much metal as possible. So that's really, really important. So try not to waste anything and make sure you collect up all of your waste that you can definitely refine. So keep it all in the pot. When your pot's full, send it into Pressman or send it into Cooks and Gold. If you need a contact, Pressman Mastermelt or Cooks and Gold, then do feel free to direct message me and I shall put you in touch with the right person. So don't feel nervous of that. If you're a jewelry maker and you think, well, I'm not really a jewelry maker, I'm not really a jeweler and this is like the big boy world, which definitely I felt when I started goldsmithing was like going over to Cookson's, which I must say was a dark and dingy place back then, was petrifying to go into there, but actually it's not now and they're very friendly. Don't worry, you're as entitled as everybody else to go and use the services and just get your money's worth out of your scrap metal. So they would be my major hints and tips, especially about the wastage. I think you'd be surprised if you're very conscious of how you use the metal, then you'll be able to reduce the amounts of waste, definitely. So they're my hints and tips. Now, if you have got metal then and you are looking to sell old jewelry, now is the time to scrap your jewelry. You are going to be quids in. So if you're looking to sell any old jewelry, broken jewelry, earrings, anything like that, stuff that's out of fashion, jewelry goes out of fashion. So anything that you want, now is the time to scrap it in. The metal prices are higher than they've ever been before, so you should be able to make a few quid off the back of that. To do that, again, you can either send it in to us and I will send it on for you. You can go into a pawnbroker, you can go into a gold buyer. Make sure you do a little bit of shopping around and get the right price for your metal. So just take it in and say that you want to scrap the item and can you have a price? Always get a price first. Do a little bit of shopping around and then then there you go, you will be able to sell your metal on. And that is again including any bits of silver that you've got. Doesn't have to be in the shape of a piece of jewelry. They're always going to just scrap it, melt it down, so don't worry about what it looks like. So it's a great time to be selling your jewelry, any broken or damaged jewelry or jewelry that needs redesigned. What else to say? Now the best thing about all of this is you need to use more gemstones, people. Let's reduce the metal, up the gemstone. That's what I say. We're doing beads today, and this is fabulous because you don't necessarily need to use a lot of metal alongside the beads. You are still able to make the jewelry, but without the high metal content that you would in other styles of jewelry. So maybe look at the styles and the designs of jewelry that you're working and creating, and think, how can you make it more gemstone heavy, make that the focus, and less metal heavy, and try and do the switch that way. I know it's really conscious. You have to be really conscious when you're selling jewelry of hitting those gifting price points. I've worked in this trade for a very, very long time. So hitting a gifting price point when you're a market trader or you've got a small shop is really important. If someone walks up and they just want to buy a little gift and the average price is 30 to 40 pounds or 30 to 50 pound probably now for a gift, then and your jewelry is now 100 pounds, I get that is scary, but unfortunately it's also reality. So really do not think that you have got to lose money because of the price of the metal. I know that is a double-edged sword, that you might feel that fewer people will buy, but consumers will accept that the prices of metal are going up and the price of everything is going up. So don't be embarrassed about your value. You have a value, you have a skill, and you are adding something that they can't do to the jewelry. You're adding that design, you're adding that skill and that work, that craftsmanship into your pieces, and don't be embarrassed about that. Don't undercut your value because of the of the marketplace. So it is, I'm not going to say it's going to be an easy ride. I'm sure it's going to be a little bit tricky as consumers get used to the fact that the metal prices have increased. It's always a little bit tricky. Now, I'd love to know what you guys want, what you guys have to say. Absolutely. Pop it into the comments, because I'm sure that my lovely view, when I don't sell jewelry, generally we do sell some jewelry, is different to everybody else's. Let's have a look. Relax and craft. Hello, Fleur. How are you doing? No positives for me. It's depressing, Fleur says. Come on, Fleur, get sweeping up. There's got to be some metal in that room. Where do you get your daily metal prices from? You can get your daily metal prices just off Google, Candice. You definitely can. I subscribe, because I'm a geek, to something called Metal Focus, which tells you all about the international. It's really geeky, though. I'm not sure I'd recommend it to anyone who's not a geek. All about the international market. That's not just for jewelry, but actually the metal prices internationally, and what's controlling them or what's not controlling them. Because remember that your precious metals are in lots of different industry. They're used in the car industry, in the in electronics, in well, just about everything, medicine, all sorts of things. So the metal prices are affected by lots of different markets. I think the reasons that we're seeing these massive hikes is actually in investors investing in the precious metals. The necessity to have a physical asset at the moment for investors seems to be very high. My son, who is not in any way a stockbroker, but he plays the stock market, he is saying the stock market is very nerve-wracking at the moment because it is overvalued. So whether the investors are seeing this and they want a physical asset, because the great thing about the precious metals is that they can actually hold them and own them, and apparently a lot of cryptocurrencies are being sold and people are buying the precious metals. And they did it with the gold, and when the gold went silly money, they looked to silver. And silver is a fabulous metal, absolutely fabulous. So I think that's why. That's my very vague opinion. I'm sure it's much more complicated than that if you know an awful lot about metal prices. Hi, Vicky. Thank you very much. Oh, Ken's still in. Facebook keeps on kicking Ken out of our lives. I found a big box of findings at the weekend, Karen says. Hunt them down. That's what I say. Find everything you've got. Is it ever likely to decrease? Not. I've never really seen it decrease. It did drop slightly over one night this week. The silver price dropped slightly. So just be careful. If you're going to buy metal, you know, you're playing a game. It's a game, really. It's like me and Angela with our dollars, isn't it, Angela? So we're always playing with the dollars, having a bit of fun in the background. You know, it's a volatile market. It does move, but I don't think you're going to see, my personal opinion is that I don't think you're going to see a massive decrease in price. And the predictions are saying that they expect it to go even higher before the end of the year. So that's what they're predicting, even higher. So I get it now. If you're looking to just get a bit of silver solder, or I was goldsmithing on Tuesday, and my tutor was moaning she'd had to spend £300 on solder. She was absolutely livid. But yeah, just think about it. With your solder as well, roll it thinner. That's what she did with mine, is she made it into this mega length, and she was like, there you are. I'm sure that doesn't make any difference. You probably have to use the same amount. Yorkshire Jewelry Designs, in 80-81, the price of silver was the highest on record. Has it not gone back up? So who knows? And I wonder what drove that up. I was only born then, so I'm not sure. Beverly says, I store car boots for sterling and then melt it down. Good for you, Beverly. You want to get out there, cover the country, I say. You can make a killing this week. They will only take silver if it's over 600 grams. Thank you, Fleur. So that's Fleur's saying, if you've got a pot of silver, they'll only take it if it's over 600 grams. Keep that in mind. I'm sure that over time, just keep it, because over time it's going to be building up. You don't need to think you're going to do it this week. You can just build it up and build it up. What I'm saying is, just don't think it's just dust and worthless. It's not. Keep everything. If you want silver findings, look for some of the D-stash groups, as they tend to be cheaper. That's a good tip. Thank you very much, Jill. Hi, April. How are you doing? Wise words, Debbie says. Thank you. Use up my other silver bits here before buying any more. That's a good idea. Hi, Claire. How are you doing? So Yorkshire Jewelry Design says, this year I bought some scrap silver from local auctions, melted it, rolled it out to reuse, recycle, repurpose. Takes time, but it's cost effective for my pieces. I've also had customers bring silver scrap to make into new pieces. The value at handmade piece is the story and appeal to the buyer, not just the cost of the materials. That is excellent advice there. So definitely some of the conversation that you can have with your customers is, do you have any metal that you want to scrap in? I know that when we make jewelry for people, we often will say, do you have something that you want to scrap in to put into the price, so that we're doing the whole service and recycling their pieces. Even if that metal's not going in, they can at least get the cost of the old engagement ring to put back into the new ring. So right, everybody happy. All some very good advice there from the audience. If you're ever having a bad day and you're feeling scared and you think can't do it anymore, you can always message us. We'll chat to you and make sure you're feeling all right. I think it's just one of those nerve-wracking times, but you can do it. It's all going to work out in the end. It is, honestly. Right. Shall we talk about beads? Because that's our favourites. Yorkshire Jewellery Design said the recession in the 80s drove up the prices. Today's prices are not that high yet, but they're predicted to exceed those prices by the end of the year. Excellent advice there. Are you on the Metal Focus group? Yorkshire Jewellery Designs. No, they're right, proper geeks. They really are. We have got over 100 different gemstone beads for you this evening. We were supposed to do this live last week, but unfortunately I wasn't very well, so we have rolled it into this week. It's going to be a very, very, very fast-moving live. However, I am on my own, apart from Angela, who's hiding in my ear. Polly is on holiday. I thought I'd get Ed to help me. I was like, Ed can help me, but he's gone out with his girlfriend. So what do you mean you're going out with your girlfriend? Johnny was at work, and Carl's got to fit the kitchen lights. So, and if he doesn't do that when he gets back, then I'm not going to be very pleased, because he said he couldn't help me for that reason. So I'm here on my own, so it'll be a little bit slower than normal on that basis, but I'm sure we're going to whiz right through them. Now, please keep in mind that we have one sample of each of these gemstone strands, and then there is going to be an estimated 6-week delivery period for these items to land with you. So do keep that in mind. Post and packaging is free in the UK. You need the code. Lisa wrote the code down for me. I lost the code that Lisa wrote down. Oh dear. She wrote it. She said, I've put it there for you. And it was there when I went live. Never mind. It's something like free PP. I wrote it in here. Look, the code is free with free PP. There you are. So I must have moved it to do that, and I put it somewhere. Free PP. International post and packaging is £14.90. We ship. Thank you very much. Beverly's on it. Look, we ship internationally. I think we can ship to America now. I think they lifted it, but I'm not going to guarantee that, because Lisa might actually just bonk me on the head with something next week. But I think they lifted the restrictions on loose semi-precious gemstones and pearls last week. So yes, so I don't think there's any duty coming on loose semi-precious gemstones going into America or pearls, but we might want to give that a few weeks for it to roll through. But that's, I think Donald Trump lifted the duty restrictions on those. But free P&P for anyone in the UK. If you're an international customer or a UK customer, you can hold your order. Next week, we have an enormous pearl live with brand new pearls, so you might want to bank them and hold the basket until next week. So you need to get this invoice paid by Monday, please. Otherwise, your items will not be ordered. That's how it works. So you need to, thank you, Tony. It's a good question. So you need to get your items paid by Monday. So the free post and packaging code will run out on Monday night. I think it was Monday, but she wrote that on the piece of paper as well. What have I done with it? I don't know. So you need to get your items paid for, pay for them over the weekend. There you are. And then they will go on to order. If you don't pay for your items, then we don't order them and they don't come to you. That's how that works. So good. That's it. I know, we're listening. It's all just too exciting here. I don't know how I survive the day some days. So it's like one exciting moment to another, as you can imagine. I'm going to put the other camera on as well. You haven't had Monday's invoice. I've seen a lot of messages saying you haven't had Monday's invoice. I think we've changed the system. I think because we have an external guy who does our invoicing for the lives, and I think he's changed his days in which he works or something. So it should come out to you today. So don't worry. So he's actually in India, so he will probably do it in the middle of the night. You'll probably get it in the morning, I'm thinking. So, but you're not the only one who's saying it hasn't come out. So I do apologise. So right, okay, we're going to start with some multi-jadeite beads, but I am going to put this camera on. So let me just turn this light round and then put this screen on. Closer to the beads. Look at that. It's not working on my screen, though. Is it working on your screen? Let's have a look. What have I done? Can you see it, or you can just see blank? It's just blank. Interesting. I was trying to be really organised. I thought, I know. I'll be really organised, get it all set up. Right, let's try it again. I probably didn't press the button. No, you know what I'm like. It's the same every week. No. Your browser has blocked you. That's kind of it. Thank you very much. Open, open, open. I was thinking about it. Just give it a second. Right. Settings. Do. So many buttons to press. Right. Let's try now. No. Sorry, everyone. It's decided that's not going to work. Let's try again completely. See, that's what happens when I decide to be organised. It all just fails on me. Just 1 second. Just blank, Ken said. Right, let's try this. Right. Let's throw that one away. Third time lucky, eh? Enter. Enter the studio. Ta-da! Right, we got there in the end. Look at the state of my cloth. Right, let's move our lights, because you know what I'm like. Try and light it up. And we're going to start with multi-jadeite beads, actually. Now, if you're new to Chalmers Gems, welcome. I'm Marie Chalmers. We're all about the gemstone here, so we love a high-quality, great value for money gemstone. There are all sorts of different gems in this live. If you've got any questions, just pop them into the comments. If you've got any questions about the gemstones, all the strands you see today are 38 centimetre strands, and they have approximately a 0.6 to 0.8 drill hole. They'll all be nice drill holes, nice and smooth, so you shouldn't lose any beads to dodgy drill holes, so that's quite important. Right, lovely. Let's see. Can you see the... Oh, you can see the beads. Lots of the beads will come in multiple sizes, and I will tell you the size as we go. If you wish to make a purchase, all you have to do is type the code that I give you, which in this case is 657, into the comments section. If I read out your name, that means you have secured 1 strand of the beads. If you wish to purchase more than one, you have to times by the quantity that you require. So you would write 657 times 2 times 3 times 10, however many that you want. So it's nice and easy, okay? I make it sound much more complex than it actually is. You just type the code into the comments. If you're a new customer, then welcome to Chalmers Gems. All you have to do is direct message us or email us at the address that is below, info@chalmersgems.com, with your email address, and we send you an invoice in an email. So that's how you pay, is you get an email from us, you open it up, you click the link, and you can check out securely from there. So it's really, really easy. As I said, all these beads are on an estimated 6-week delivery period. If you're new, I'm sure that can be quite nerve-wracking, but this is the way that we make sure that you get the very latest gemstones from the marketplace, because they are collected up for us by our international suppliers. These ones are our Chinese bead suppliers, and they collect up all the new, and when they've got a lovely volume like this of about 100 strands, then they let me know, and they just send us one of each, and we place the order of how many people order. So you get access to that marketplace as soon as the beads come into the market. So it's quite an exciting way to buy, and you're also guaranteeing that your gemstones are responsibly sourced. Here at Chalmers Gems, we travel all over the world, and we make sure that we responsibly source our gemstones. You'll see on our social media, you can follow the journey of your gemstones. We go out to mines, we go out to farms, we go out doing all sorts of anything gemmy. We check manufacturers, we check the working conditions, we do all sorts to make sure that you are getting responsibly sourced gemstone beads. Any questions, you can just ask them in the comments, and other customers, I'm sure, will will assure you that it's such a fun system, because in 6 weeks you forgot what you ordered. So right, these are a multi-jade smooth round bead, and these are 8mm rounds. This is only £8.50, and they are a brand new gemstone bead strand. So look at all the fabulous colours you've got of the multi-jade. I thought they were loads of fun. And look at that. So instead of your very, very typical greens, you've got all sorts of different colours coming in here. So this is quite a new strand. 657 is the code for your 8mm. 658 is your 6mm round multi-jade strand. 658 for 6mm. It is like Christmas, Jill. It's often like Christmas, certainly like Christmas here at the moment, because we've got all the beads in and we've got all the pearls in and all sorts of stuff. I've got a 657 for Yvonne Vickers. Fingers crossed, Mary, we can. A 657 for Rani Melrose. There's often a lag. So you see I've moved on to the next gemstone here, because sometimes there is a little bit of a lag between me and you, unfortunately. That's nothing to do with me. If I don't read out your name, that's not me either. I can't see you if I don't read you out. So you just have to try and unblock yourself where possible. I've got a 658 for Nicola Bijou, thank you. 657 for Chris Puffer, hi Chris. And then a 4mm is 659. So you've got all these beautiful colours in your multi-jade strand. 659 for just £6.50. I'm going to pop them on my wrist because I think they're quite fun. I thought that was a really lovely strand with all of those nice different coloured beads, don't you think? I've got a 658 for Mary Ruth Burkitt. Look at that. If you watch me on Facebook, if you put me horizontally, apparently that makes it a little bit easier to see both sides of the screen. And if you're watching on YouTube, then you need to be subscribed to be able to comment. Right, I'm going to put them away. I'm just making a terrible mess. If I don't tidy them up, I'm going to regret it tomorrow morning, because I am live in the morning and I won't be able to sort them out, will I? So I better try and stay relatively tidy. 658, 659. This is a good one next. Right, who have I got? Got totally distracted there. I've got 659 for Nicola Bijou, 659 for Jane Ledyard, 658 for Chris Puffer. Did I see Yvonne Vickers? I think I did. A 657 we did. Thank you very much. Next up, this is a lovely, chunky red jasper. Red jasper is actually a bead we get asked for randomly throughout the year. Quite often people message in saying that they're looking for red jasper. I guess there's not a lot of it about, and I think it might have a healing property that people use. So this is your red jasper, a kind of chunky nugget. Some with patterns, some without. I think that's a nice strand. Is your 38cm strand? You do have spaces in there, so keep that in mind. But a very nice strand. 817. They're approximately 13 by 9mm, and that is £11.50 a strand. So a nice strand. 817 is your code for just £11.50 a strand. You've got plenty of beads going on that strand as well. So lots of beads to make with. And just something a little bit different. I think that's quite nice. 817, £11.50. I'll keep moving, guys. We'll ignore the lag for now. And we've got an 8. You've got your 8mm, your 6mm, and your 4mm in a chevron amethyst. And we will come on later to an African amethyst as well. So let's do them in the right order. An 817 for Tony Davis, thank you. So this is your 8mm chevron amethyst. So when we say a chevron amethyst, you can see that it has the white, it has the paler patches within it, and it actually exhibits the chevron pattern in which amethyst grows. So sometimes the amethyst grows with quartz, and it grows with particular angles that come out looking like chevrons. So you get this, you can see a chevron particularly just here look like that. So you get this beautiful patterned amethyst rather than a solid colour amethyst. So they're both a very, very different look. This is your 8mm round, £10 a strand, 663 for the 8mm for £10 a strand. And that is your chevron amethyst, sometimes called dogtooth amethyst. It just depends. It depends who's selling it to you, really. 663, £10 a strand for your 8mm. Just move that light. No, it's not that light. You can see it's this light. There we are. 663 for the 8mm. For the 6mm, so the matching strand in 6mm, you've got 664 for £8.50 for your chevron. And in a 4mm, let's have a look at that one. 665 for your 4mm. Do you know what I'm going to moan about? I think it's quite predictable. Is the lighting. I never feel the lighting's right. I spend my whole life moaning about the lighting. I've got this light today. I don't think that made a blind bit of difference, did it really? But never mind. 663, I've got Rani and one for Sonia Anderson Hughes. Thank you very much. 665, £7.50 for your 4mm chevron amethyst. I'm just going to put them back in a pile. Right, now this has been the biggest selling strand on the pop-up shop. So these items went into a pop-up shop on our website over the weekend because I wasn't very well. So we ran them in a pop-up shop. And this was the biggest selling strand. And I was surprised, not because it's not amazing. It's a beautiful strand, but it's not a cheap strand. And I was surprised how many we sold. So you're going to love it. It is absolutely gorgeous. I did put it in the stories last week before I was unwell, and it is absolutely gorgeous. This is the premium quality malachite. Now, malachite forms in different variations, and mostly it grows in a kind of stalactite. So little stalactite forms. Sometimes it has a little nodule. It doesn't grow particularly long, and that's what can give you the rings in the malachite. But you also get a fibrous malachite, and that's a malachite that forms with tiny, tiny fibers, and it creates a sort of velvety effect. And it's that malachite that they have actually cut here. So can we get it? It's got such a high luster. That's the problem with it. Can we get it to show how truly beautiful it is? Because some of these actually have a chatoyancy to them because the quality of the malachite is so, so high, and you're getting this fibrous pattern. They're so beautiful. If you saw the video of them out in the sunlight, they are so beautiful. Unfortunately, the light here is not nearly as good. Let me see if I can get them to you that way. You can see there that they are beautiful. I can't get the chatoyant effect to show, but you're going to love them. Absolutely love them. So this is a premium malachite strand. This is the sort of thing that you're not going to find all the time. So we're not going to necessarily ever be able to repeat this strand, because to cut the fibrous malachite must be extremely, extremely difficult to be able to keep that optical effect. Candy said, I would love these, but I'm scared of using them with bracelet due to the softness. Is that a bit dramatic? No, they're not particularly soft candies. You should be able to use them within a bracelet. If you're nervous, I would go for the 4mm and space them with a bigger bead of something else so that they're not going to get as damaged if they get knocked, if you're a little bit nervous about them. I'll just pop that code up for you. 813, this is the 10mm, which shows the most effect because of the size of the bead, but they're not too soft to be able to use them in a bracelet. You can also make them to earrings and a pendant. They'll be much safer in that way. But yes, I can see your point. Maybe go for the smaller size. It's not a 4mm, it's a 6mm. Sorry. If you're a bit nervous, put some larger beads just to protect those beads. But I've never heard anyone having trouble with malachite in a bracelet. So I think you'll be okay. 813, 49.50 for your 10mm. Yes, the malachite pendants on the Jewelry Live, Tracy, were phenomenal. We do have a couple left, I think. If anyone wants the malachite pendants, you can message into Lisa. Yeah, really beautiful. Ken says they come from the heart of the rough. Thank you, Ken. So Ken is a stonecutter, one of the UK's leading stonecutters. So the heart of the rough has the incredible patterns in it. This one definitely has the chatoyant effect. Look at that. They're gorgeous. This is the 8mm, 812, £32.50 for your 8mm smooth round beads. All the strands you see today are 38cm strand with a 0.6 to 0.8mm drill hole. So this one is 812, £32.50. Hi, Marie Dunkley. How are you doing? Hope you're all right. Oh, the colour's not coming out on that with my dodgy lighting. It's not coming out. Let me see if I can do it any justice. That's a bit better, but it's not coming out as well as I'd like it to. You're going to have to take my word for it, guys. 812 is your 8mm rounds, and then the 6mm round. This is the smallest size. I know I said 4mm, but I didn't mean it. This is the smallest size that we're bringing you, and this is your 6mm round malachite, so quite a nice size. This one is 811, and it is £22.50. £22.50 for your premium malachite 6mm round strand. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Lovely colour, lovely patterns. A very desirable gemstone. 811 22.50. Right, I have to move straight on. Unfortunately, can't sit there looking at the gemstones, or we'll never get through them all. That's that one, that one, that one. Next up, we've got a spot of silver obsidian. If you've been on our website and you've been buying out the little cats and the paws, and there's so many cool things on the website and obsidian, then these will go with the little beads a treat. Look at that, gorgeous. So this is a brilliant strand, really great value for money. You can see that each bead has got a gorgeous silver flash, whereas if you buy the cheap and nasties, then you'll note that only a couple of beads on your strand will have that flash. But you can see here from that entire strand that if I roll it, it's all winking. It's winking, winking, winking. We like that a lot. This one is your larger size, 12mm round, a lovely juicy size, £17.50 for your silver obsidian 12mm round. On the 811s, I've got one for Louisa Gall and one for Chris Puffer. Thank you very much. 687, £17.50 for your 12mm round silver obsidian. I've got a 10mm. They call them double eyes. That's what they call them, because they have such an amazing flash that when you turn it, it actually flashes twice. And they call them double eyes. This is your 10mm round silver obsidian. It's 688, £13.50. Look at those, aren't they nice? Love obsidian. 688 at £13.50. And then for your 8mm round, 689, £11.50. Same quality, 689. Same quality, £11.50. I've got a 688 for Yvonne Vickers. Don't forget, you've got free P&P. UK post and packaging is totally free on these items. There is an estimated 6-week delivery period, but you are getting your free P&P. A 690 for £9 for the 6mm. That is the smallest size that we're doing today. 690 for the 6mm for just £9 for your double. They call them double eyes. Silver obsidian. I've got a 689 for Chris Puffer. Loads of beautiful flash in there. 690 for just £9. Right, popping those ones back as well. 8mm is 689. I've got a 689 for Carol Wilson and a 690 for Carol Wilson. A 690 for Holly Darko. Carol Wilson for a 689 and a 690, please. A 690 for Holly Darko and one for Chris Puffer. Look at these bad boys. That's one hell of a look at that, isn't it? That's one big bead. I've got a 690 for Beverly Jackson on YouTube. Thank you. How cool is that? That's definitely a statement piece of jewelry. On the strand, these are absolutely enormous. They're 40 by 30mm. And on the strand, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Approximately 10 pieces per strand. So you've got these lovely large statement pieces. You could use them as a feature on a necklace. You could use them as a bracelet bar. For someone with a large wrist, I'd go for, definitely. But that is a real statement. As you can see, each one is totally, totally individual. So they're really, really quirky, aren't they? Really quirky. I've got a 689, please, for Sonia Anderson Hughes. Absolutely gorgeous. This one is, so you get your 10 pieces on there. 828 is your code. £27.50 for your 10 pieces. So that's £2.75 a bead. It's just incredible. Is this a very strong material? This is a green zebra jasper. It's quite a tough material. It will be fine in a bracelet, absolutely fine. 828 is your code. £27.50 for your really large 10 pieces. We do have a smaller size coming up as well. 828. Look at that. One for Marie Dunkley. This is what we love about these style of lives, is that you get these really unusual makes, gems to make with. 628. And then we have got a slightly smaller version as well. Hi Stacey, how are you doing? Now you haven't missed much, don't worry. So slightly smaller one. These ones are approximately 25 by 18 millimeters. And on this strand, you get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, approximately 15 pieces on there. Would that go with the malachite? I'll pop it next to the malachite for you in a second. 829, £16.50, 25 by 18. Yeah, it's like a type of serpentine. It is, which, yeah, that's the same thing, Nina. And so sometimes they call it zebra jasper, sometimes they call it serpentine. It sometimes has a chatoyant. See, this one has a chatoyant effect to it. It's a lovely material. This one is 829, £16.50 for the next one. It would make a statement keychain. It would. Let me pop it there with your malachites a second. What are you wanting to do, Beverly, with the malachite? That's it next to the malachite. Does it go? I don't know. Green and green. I don't know. I've got an 829 for Marie Dunkley. An 828 for Chris Puffer. Stacey said I ordered some of these from the pop-up shop. Will today's order be added to that? And around 6 weeks. That's absolutely right. So we popped the pop-up shop up last weekend because I wasn't very well. And then anything ordered this week will also go on to that order. So yes, you'll have to check out the invoice as normal, still use that free P&P code, and your order will come together. 829, £16.50 for your smaller size. We've got some mookaite next in 3 sizes for you. The dinky one. So you've got the larger size. This is an 8 millimeters. I've got 829, please, for Tony Davis, and 1 for Sharon Kenny. Hi, Sharon. So mookaite is a gemstone that comes from Australia, and it's this lovely burgundies. It's got purples. It's got your beige colors. It's got mustards in there. It's a beautiful, beautiful a collection of colors that reminds me definitely of Australia. Look at that. It's nice and bright. I've got an 829 for F-K on YouTube, and I'm trying to think who you are on Facebook. You'll have to let me know, FK. I'm going to kick myself. Thank you when you tell me. Lovely. Look at that. So that is your 8 millimeter round. So they might all be a little bit different, your beads, because each bead is individual. 660 is your code. £9 for your 8 millimeter strand, and you get all those lovely colors on there, nice and bright and vibrant. 660 for the 8 millimeters. You've got 661 for £8 for your 6 millimeter strand of mookaite. 661, just £8. And then the 4 millimeters is just £7. Oh, burgundy is the colour for winter fashion this year. I've been thinking about buying a burgundy coat, Beverly. So you're totally right. Yes. 662 for £7 for the 4 millimeters. The trouble with buying the burgundy coat is that I have to leave the house. So not to wear the coat, to go buy the coat, because I'd have to buy so many different coats to try them all on that I thought I'm actually going to have to leave the house and go shopping. But I intentionally threw my coat away last year, so I didn't wear it for another year because it was in such a tatty mess. I'm such a lazy shopper. A 662 for Sharon Kelly, thank you very much. That is your 4 millimeter round mookaite. Don't enjoy shopping. A 670 for Mary Ruth Burkett, please. 670. I'm not sure, Mary. 660 maybe. A 660 for Mary, please. I think. Right now for Amazonite, lovely. Burgundies and browns are having a moment, Stacey says. And you know, they were fashionable in the 90s. And I like anything that was fashionable in the 90s. It was a 660 for Mary. We've got this size is, I'm going to tell you in a second, I think it's a 12 mil. Is it? What did I do with it? I've lost its ticket. I'll come to it in a minute. I think that's a 12 mil, a 10 mil, an 8 mil. These are the multi-Amazonite, a 6 millimeter, and a 4 millimeter. Look at all of these sizes. You've got the whole range going on there. So that's 4 millimeter, 6 millimeter, 8 millimeter, 10 millimeter, and then the one that I want has totally disappeared. 1 second. Next, Amazonite. Here it is. This is where we're missing Polly, isn't it? Polly's normally on it. The lovely large 12 millimeter, £9.50 a strand. Love Amazonite. So affordable. 662 for Mary, please. Yeah, Granny agrees with me. She also loves Amazonite. So affordable. Blues and greens are always a popular colour. Always, always, always. And this is a definite affordable version. And in the mixed Amazonite, you can see you get a real variety of colours in there. So you can either match them up. You can see there are some that you could all match up, or you can mix and match and have a little bit of pastel running through there as well. And for £9.50 for an enormous 12 millimeter bead, that's great value for money. 708 is your code, £9.50 for your 12 millimeter. Let's pop that up there. Your 10 millimeter, 709, just £8.50 for your 10 millimeter Amazonites. Look at those beauties. 709, £8.50. Candy only likes shopping for gemstones and pearls. We definitely have that in common, Candy. I can go shopping for gemstones. They fit, don't they? You don't have to feel bad about yourself having gained a couple of pounds. So, yeah, it's brilliant. These are great for planets, Jane said. They would make really nice planets. This is your 8 millimeter strand. 710, £7.50 for your Amazonite 8 millimeter rounds. 710. We kicked the Bumblebee Jasper out of this live, Rani. Oh, the sin. 710. And then we've got a 6 millimeter round. Lovely orange bead in there. 711, only £7 for your 6 millimeter Amazonite. 711, just £7. I'll pop that one there. I've got so many beads now. And then your 4 millimeter is just £6.50. 712 for your 4 millimeter. I've got two number 709s, I think, for Rani, please. 712, £6.50. I'm going to run back through the codes for you in just a second. 712 is your 4 millimeter round. 711 is your 6 millimeter round. I've got two 711s for Kate Minard, one for Hannah Lorendu, one for Jane Ledyard. You've got 710 for your 8 millimeter at £7.50 a strand. 709 for 10 millimeters. And your lovely large one is 708 for the 12 millimeters. If you're looking for a large bead, you could see there that 12 millimeters is a lovely large size in the bead. That would look quite nice with pearls, wouldn't it? A nice statement bead, that one. A 711 for Mary Ruth Burkitt. Two 710s, please, for Rani. I'll run through them again. 708 is your 12 mil. 709 is your 10 mil. 710 is your 8 mil. Oops, 711 is your 6 millimeter. And 712 is the 4 millimeter. Okay. Just going to regret this tomorrow, popping them back like that. This has also been a particularly popular strand. I've got two 710s for Sonia Anderson Hughes, please. And again, a multi-Amazonite. I can't remember what it's called. Someone's going to tell me in a second. The 4-leaf clover shape. 713 for your multi-Amazonite. It's also faceted. You can see they have got facets on the top all the way through. In fact, on front and back, sorry, and they're drilled all the way through. This is your 4-leaf clover strand for £17.50. 708 for Ranny Melrose. 713 is your code for your 4-leaf clovers in your Amazonite. Nice to have a new shape, isn't it? Isn't it nice? Oh, I love it. This is one of the trending shapes of the year. 713 for £17.50. How much workmanship goes into cutting these as well? I've got a 712 for Mary Ruth Burkitt. Look at that, 713. That's it. Is it quatrefoil? I'm sure it's pronounced beautifully in French, and I don't pronounce French very beautifully, so we're going to just move on. I struggle with English. That's it. Thank you very much. Look at the size of these. Again, lovely large pieces if you're looking for a large statement. Reminds you of the sea, doesn't it? In your mixed Amazonite. A 710, please, for Beverly Jackson. Love. Beautiful, aren't they? Again, faceted both sides. A 710 for Beverly Jackson, a 713 for Lynn Blewett. Hi, Lynn. 830, 40 by 30 millimeters in your faceted Amazonite, £16.50 for those lovely large beads. And on the strand, you're getting 2, 4, 6, 8, approximately 10 beads on the strand again there. So just £1.65 per bead. 830 is your code, £16.50. If you look, Gemma would like these to work with, wouldn't she? She would have liked those. Should have sent them to Gemma. Did we see Marie Dunkley for a 713? I'm not sure. We did, thank you. We did, yes. This is rhodonite in a chunky. These ones are a little bit fatter than those slices, the faceted slices. Gorgeous, though. Nice colour, loads of patterns, lots of fun. Not rhodonite, pink opal. Sorry, my mistake. Pink opal, mixed shape, 20 by 25 millimeters, and they are $49.50 for the lovely chunky pieces. Let's give you a breakdown there. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. You get 14 pieces on your strand, and they are $49.50. That works out £3.54 per bead. So I know it appears to be more of a high-end strand, but you're looking at the weight of a pink opal. That's why. If it was rhodonite, it would have been a whole load cheaper. But because it's pink opal, that does carry a high value. And you can see there, gorgeous colour. Really nice lustre as well on a pink opal. That one is 807 at $49.50 for your pink opal 25 by 20 millimetre chunky beads. I've got a small showcase now of a new oval, so a faceted oval. And I think that's really pretty, don't you? A very dainty. Again, with all the facets sparkling there in the light. Very nice. This one is your Amazonite. I've got a range of these for you. They're 8 by 6 millimeter faceted ovals. 795 is your code, and that is just £14.50 a strand. So that is the Amazonite faceted ovals. I'm sure they give you lots of different design inspiration, but this is one of the latest shapes. I've not seen this before. I think we might have had a faceted oval in an obsidian or something once, but not in an entire range of gemstones. So this is 8 by 6 ovals, 795, $14.50 in the Amazonite. I've got the same in a lapis for $14.50. 783 is your code in the lapis. Lovely and vivid. They'd make nice earrings, wouldn't they? Very pretty indeed. 783 for $14.50. Loads of facets on there. Very, very sparkly. At 783. I just need to move my trays across. Then I've got an amethyst. Again, 8 by 6 faceted oval. This one is 789. If you're looking for those latest shapes, I've got a 783 for Holly Darko. Thank you, Holly. 789 for $14.50. 2783s for Bridget DeWall, thank you. Rose quartz is 793, 1450. We've got 785 is your picture jasper. You want something more neutral. Again, with some nice patterns in there. 785, 1450. 783 for Mary Ruth Burkett, thank you. We've got them in a quartz if you want them as a spacer. Again, they'd look nice. They'd look nice as a multi, wouldn't they? As a multi-strand bracelet. You could do something with all the colours. 788 is your code for your quartz. I've got 785 for Candy Barnes. 788. And then I've got Tiger's Eye as the last variation in your 8x6 ovals. 783 for Catherine Woolard. That is 790 for the Tiger's Eye. 1450. I'll run back through those codes for you. I think I put one away over here somewhere. I did. Oh, there's a night. Yes, I did. I'll just run back through those codes. So your Amazonite was 795 for 1450. Lapis was 783. Have I played them in a funny order then? Yes, apparently. Very much so. I'll just keep going. 788 for the quartz. 789 for amethyst. 793 for rose quartz. 785 for picture jasper. And 790 for Tiger's Eye. If anyone wants any of the handbags or donuts or anything as well in a future live, then just shout out. Oh, I've got one more as well. I've got a mixed Amazonite as well strand there in the 8x6 ovals. 784 in your mixed Amazonite at 1450. Yeah, if you need the handbags for charms or any of the donuts or anything in the next few lives, then just give me a shout. Drop us a message and we'll try and get those into the lives as well. Just a second, everyone. I've got no poly, so I'm just keeping everything tidy myself. Bridget would like a 790, please. Right. Next, this is pretty. Look at this. I've not come across this before. Maybe I'm going the wrong way on the board. I'm not sure. Sorry, Angela. Causing chaos for Angela. Look at that. What beautiful colours. So you're looking at a Madagascan rose quartz, they're classing it as. So in there you've got pinks and purples and silvers and a whole array of different colours. There's definitely a touch of tourmaline. I think this is a tourmaline in there. And I don't know for definite, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's a similar material to the lepidolite plum blossom tourmaline, that sort of thing. I think it is a version of that. When I look at it, that's what I see. But it is a Madagascan quartz anyway, but really pretty colours with the pink. It's a kind of a pastel-y pink and a purple and silvers in there. So really very unusual. It's a new one. I've definitely not seen it in the market before, so it's nice to be able to bring it to you. So let's start with the 10mm. This one is 806 for the 10mm, and it is 27.50 for your 10mm. 806 is your code. And again, it's got some lovely patterns in there as well, and they're created by inclusions, but nicely done. A very unusual, strange. Debbie says it looks like the plum blossom. It does, doesn't it? But it doesn't quite have the lepidolite in it, I don't think. I love the shades, Ken says. I do. It's really pretty. I think this is definitely a tourmaline in here. So I'd say it's a mixed quartz strand. 806, and that is 27.50 for your 10 mil. Your 8mm is equally as pretty. Loads of lovely colorways in there and different translucencies to it as well. So very unusual. Yeah, dusky colors, Jane says. Yes, very unusual colors for a quartz. 805, £19.50 for your 8mm. 805. And then the 6mm, still keeping its color, because as we've discussed many times, particularly with rose quartz, that quite often it loses its color. As they get smaller, they tend to lose their colour. This one is 804 and just £12.50. So if you wanted to trial it, see how you get on, see if you like those more unusual colourways, £12.50 is a good price. So this is the 6mm at £12.50. Yeah, very nice colours. 804 is the code for that one. I've got an 804 for Charlotte Smith. Thank you. I'll just pop it there as well. Remember, the lighting on this, when it looks at me this way, it makes me look even paler than I am. So do bear in mind, it does knock a little bit of the colour out. I don't know why it does that. So I've got 804 for Hannah Lorendu, 2 for Kate Maynard, and 1 for Chris Puffer. Yes, a very tactile bead as well. It's funny because some of the beads, you hold on to them. I don't know what that's about. Maybe it's just me. So 10 mil, 8 mil, 6 mil. So all the sizes there. 806 for your 10mm, 805 for your 8mm, and 804 for the 6mm. Okay, moving on to the next one. Nice to bring you something new. This is one of my favorites that landed. We're bringing, now this is a premium breed strand. There's a range of them and they are premium, but they are incredible, absolutely incredible. Had I known they were going to send them, I would have asked if we could split the strands, and maybe next time we're in China we might ask to split the strands of these to make them a bit more affordable. But they are worth the money because the quality is exceptional. They're really cool cuts. Very, very different. I'm just lining them up next to me so that you can see them. They're just awesome. If you like a quirky gemstone with a cool optical effect, then these are going to be for you, definitely. These are hypersthene. Now, I couldn't get this across on the images on our website because you can't get them to show how cool the patterns are, because you can see you need to move them a lot in the light and they will reflect and catch the light. So it's an almost chatoyant effect. I'm not sure what makes hypersthene have this unusual pattern within it, but as you can see, some of them are stripy, and that's what I like in the hypersthene, is when you get a really cool striped effect within your hypersthene. Look at those, and they're properly eye-catching. Jill, put them in a basket and remove them. Jill, you're not allowed to say that on the live. It's just like saying, I gave you a puppy and then I took it back because it was too cute that you couldn't have it. It's just mean. So look at that. They're gorgeous, aren't they? Absolutely gorgeous. So I've got different shapes of these. This is the puffy square. The code, they're about 18 by 18 millimeters, the puffy square. The code is 833. They're £97.50. You do get lots on the strand. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22 on the strand, which is £4.43, says the magic Angela in my ears. £4.43 a bead. Oh, she had a calculator. She had pre-done it, but you didn't need to tell me that. Look, I was impressed. Look at that. So £4.43 a bead, that's not unreasonable when you look at how amazing they actually are. I'll run through the different shapes with you because all the shapes are equally as cool. They do sit at slightly different price points, but they're still all awesome. This is your puffy rectangle. Look at the patterns. They're just so striking and make the coolest jewelry. And you could do makes for men with these as well, don't you think? They'd suit absolutely everybody. Definitely catch people's eye. Definitely. The puffy rectangles, the code is 831, 20 by 15 millimeters, 7750. Do you want to do a count on those? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, about 21, I think. I might have miscounted. Approximately, boy races back, sorry. 21 beads. I'm waiting for Angela's magic maths. And they are 77.50 a strand, which is £3.50. Is that right? Per bead. £3.50 a bead. So again, very affordable. Beautiful. Then this one we've called, we don't know what shape we called that. That was a puffy rectangle. This is also a puffy rectangle, but it's actually this shape, look. I don't know what shape that is, but it is rectangular. So you can see where I was going with that. Yeah, gorgeous patterns. Yeah, really cool, aren't they? This one is 20 by 15 millimeters, 836, £62 a strand. Count on that one is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19 on that one. 19 for £62. £3.27 a bead, thank you. Going to have to get a child. Are you doing tomorrow morning? I am doing tomorrow morning. I'll be live at 9:30 tomorrow morning for you, Marie. Just waiting for you there. So, yes, have fun getting the child. I know that feeling. I seem to just be a permanent taxi at the moment. Look at this. This is same shape. This is 20 by 12 millimeters, so slightly slimmer. I think you're into earring territory now. 835, 59.50. 12 by 20 millimeters. This is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19 beads on there as well. £3.13 each. I wish you'd sell them per bead, Jane says. Oh, I'll keep it in mind, Jane. If there's some that we don't sell by the strand and we've still got the strand, we'll break it into beads for you. Let's watch this space. Then we've got a puffy oval, 12 by 16 millimeters. I quite like the oval. It's not my favourite yet, though. We've left my favourite one till last. Look at that. So flashy. This one is 832. These are 16 by 12 millimeter ovals, and they are £52 a strand. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 25 maybe in there. £2.08 per bead for those. And then this one I love the most. And this is marquee shaped. Look at that. How cool is that? You don't get a lot of marquee shaped beads. We do a lot of cabs. Look at the patterns in there. I think that would make a really lovely earring. Marquise was Jill's favourite. And Jill, these are only £36.50. For once in my life, my favourite was one of the cheaper ones. I mean, that just doesn't normally happen to me. 20 by 10 millimeters, and that is your puffy marquee shape. 834 is the code, 36.50 for the strand. It's really cool, don't you think? Look at the flash. 834. One for Jill Horton. Yay! Let's shout it really loud for you, Jill, just in case. One for Stacey Armstrong. These are better than the cabs as more versatile for us non-wire workers. Oh, that's good to know, Jane. I shall keep my eye out for more marquee shapes. We do have them also in a round bead, but sorry about that. The round bead doesn't have the same optical effect. They're just a black bead. So let's have a look anyway. Stacey Armstrong, please, on YouTube. Lovely. Pete might be listening, Jill says. We have to have a code name. We've done it before. Won't be the first time we've had to code a customer so the husband can't hear. Right, I've got 2 sizes in the Hyperstein beads. So I've got a 10mm round, but as I said, they do get the odd flash, but they're not full of flash. Wait a second. Stacey says, I ordered my business name online. I think I will DM you to match the orders up. That would be very helpful. Thank you. The postage code again is free PP. It will be in your email link though, Stacey. So don't worry. You don't actually have to remember it. 809 is the code. 10mm round is 809, £42. And then, yeah, 8mm round. You can see some flash on there. This one is 808 for £32. I feel like at the end we should do what did Marie reject? Because there's actually a box of beads next to my desk which was sent over that I totally rejected. I was like, no, they're not having those. No, for various reasons. Maybe tomorrow if we've got some time, guys. Right, next up, multicolour lava rock. You've got to love multicolour lava rock. Everybody loves that. Because it's really affordable, lots of colours. You can put essential oils into it, let it dry before, otherwise the dye will come out. But once it's dry, apparently the dye is in there. So let it dry, and then you can have a beautiful scented decoration. I feel like I should do one for my car because my car stinks of dog, even though I don't have a dog anymore. It still stinks of dog. It's probably because I haven't cleaned it since I've not had a dog. What grade would you say the 8mm is? Stacey, I would say it's not a top grade. It's a commercial quality of Hyperstein. Otherwise, it would have the pattern without, but the pattern is very directional, so it must be extremely tricky to get it right. So, right, let's start. What number do you start with then, Angela? Let's go in Angela's order. Yeah. 6. Oh, that's right then. 699. Look at these. So these are lava rock. That is a natural material, but this is dyed. Okay, they don't come naturally like this. You actually get lava rock on beaches. It's like a pumice stone. And imagine if you went to the beach and you saw this, you'd think, woohoo! They do look like those sweets. Oh, I love those sweetie necklaces. But you'll definitely break a tooth if you try and do that, definitely. I made car fresheners in lava rock and gave them as presents. Jane is one step ahead of me. That's what I need, Jane. I'm going to do it. I am. 699, £8. These are lava rock discs. They're approximately 3 by 6 to 5 by 10. So there is a variation in the size of the lot. They don't look like a graduated strand, do they? So it looks like I didn't quite measure them right. 699, £8 for your multicolour dyed lava rock, but that's great. For £8, you can pick all the colours out and make each one personal, couldn't you? Car fresheners. 699, £8 for that one for the disc. Next, you've got 693, have you? Yes, 693. Oh, thank you, Jane. That's lovely. This one is a 10mm round lava rock in all the beautiful multicolours. I'll pop it down there so you can see all the great colours you got there. They're on my order, Tony says. She's been in the pop-up shop. 693, 10mm round, £7. And you get all the 10mm in all those fabulous, fabulous colours. I feel like I'm just having my house painted at the moment, actually. And I feel like this could have been the colour palette. So apart from it's just mostly neutral and white. But Johnny's gone for like this green in his room. So 693, 10mm, £7. Match the colour of my car. My car's pure white. I'm not sure we're going to find that one. I don't mind what colour. The more colour, the better. 693, £7 for your 10mm rounds. Then we've got 694, I think will be next. The 694 is the 8mm for £7 a strand. You tell I've had pearls on the brain today because I'm thinking in strings. 694, £7. Look, there's the Charmers Gems Blue. 694, 8mm round. Then we have got a 6mm round, 695 for £7. 695, £7. For your 6mm. You're coming into some different shapes now. I've got a rondelle shape, and these are 5x8mm rondelles in the lava rock, and that one is 697 for £7. 5x8mm. Great if you want to make stretchy bracelets with the kids or the grandkids. Lovely, aren't they? 698 is 7x10mm for £7 in all the colours. Rondelles. And then my personal favourites. Oh, how are we going to get it on the screen? Just a minute. Are you ready, everybody? It's coming. Oh, look at the little fish. I feel like I could have done a better job as they swim past your screen in all their colours. Look at that. Little fish. I mean, what could go wrong? Why would you not want that in your stash? Why? Look at those. All the little fish. Little fish lava rock beads in all the colours. There you go. So you get a whole strand with loads of different colours in there, and it is £6,967.50. And now again, I've put weird sizing on here, 8x14 to 11x21. 8x14, I think, is the code there for that one. Karen Hansen is going for 697. Two of those, please. Have you got my son, Karen Hansen? Which Hansen has got my son? One of the Hansons has him. So I was hoping to use him this evening, and he was not available. The trouble with Ed is that he's just so nice. He'll do anything. So, you just rely on him to do everything. Did you used to watch The Royal Family, the sitcom on the telly, the comedy? I'm talking to you, Angela, because no one else replies to me. And they used to get Anthony to do everything. I do feel like it's moving to that level of abuse. It's like, oh, Ed, could you just nip to the shop? Oh, Ed, could you just do this? So, yes, now, yeah, that's why he's gone out to Bella's house, I think, to escape his family. One for 696 for Rani. Well, people, I don't know why you're not buying my miniature fish. I just don't know what's wrong with you. So, yeah. In Lava Rock, what more could you want? Oh, whoops, I knocked everything. I am missing Polly. I am missing her. I'll miss some more tomorrow. Well, Lisa will if she has to organise the beads back. Not tonight. He's with the granddaughter, Karen says. He is. I think he's gone out with Bella. Jill says, isn't that what children are for? Well, I think so, Jill. But the eldest is not useful. He just would say no. He'd just say no, thanks. I don't want to go to the shop. Whereas Ed might say no, but then he'll come round and negotiate some sweets. Right. I've already added the fish. Tony says, okay, Tony, I'll let you off then. This is natural jade. So gorgeous colours. Look at the colour variation there. You've got this beautiful mottled jade. So these are your natural jade beads. Very nice indeed. 704 is your code. That's the 10mm round. So the large size on the natural jade. We're bringing you in an 8mm round and in a 6mm round as well. Oops, there you go. In a 6mm. So you've got the whole size variety going on there. So starting with your 10mm round, the code for this one is 704 for £22 for your jade 10mm. Then I've got, sorry, it struggles to breathe every now and again. 8mm round, 705 for £16.50. There's a lovely weight to jade. 705. Lots of colour. I love the mottled effect as well, and the colour variation in there. 705, £16.50, and then your 6mm, only £12.50. Lovely price point. 706, £12.50. Do you like floral, musk, or spicy smell? Oh, I don't know, Jane. That's what makes me wonder how people buy perfume from the internet. I mean, how do you know what it smells like? I would say I'm not fussy really, Jane. I don't mind. If you make it smell like Christmas, can you make it smell like Christmas? But Yeah, it's going to smell better than dog. That's what Angela says. It certainly is. Yeah, whatever covers up the dog smell, that's the smell. 706 is your 6mm round. So I've got a 705 for Louisa Gall, and these are great value for money. A 705 for Tara Porter, and 706s for everybody. Everybody wants a 706 because it's got free post and packaging. So they're thinking, why not? Why not just grab some jade? 706 for Chris Puffer, Hannah Lorendu, Nicola Bijou, Kate Minard, and Holly Darko. If I haven't read out your name, it's because I haven't seen your comment. And we do know that Meta has been blocking comments. So if you're struggling to be seen, if you just reply to your own comment or just make everyone aware that you're not being seen, then someone should shout out for you. 706, £12.50 for your 6mm jade. Gorgeous jade strand there. Isn't that nice? Lovely variety. We have bought you multi-jade before in a slightly different colorway. I know the first one that we did was a really multi-strand, but I quite like this mottled appearance on the jade. I think that's nice. And for £12.50, that's great value for money. Right, we've done tray 2, everybody, but you have to excuse me while I move my trays. All right, next up. What's next on your list, Angela, please? Oh, I've got a baby one. There's an even smaller jade that's snuck into the next tray, a 4mm round. 707 is £10 for the 4mm round, or you can make little stacker rings. That would look nice. Little stacker rings of jade. They'd look lovely. Only just joined, Amanda said. It's my first time. Any silver obsidian? Have I missed it? Or bring it back for you, Amanda. Just a minute. 707, £10 for your 4mm jade in the smooth rounds. Well, welcome, Amanda. Everyone will say hi to you in a second. Yes, we do have some silver obsidian, but we've got double eye silver obsidian. So they're the top quality, the premium quality silver obsidian, and they're very, very, very pretty. 707 for Nicola Bijou. Anyone else for a 4mm round in the jade, in the multi jade there? Let me see if I can just grab the silver obsidians. 1 second. I've got it, thank you. I think I'm on it. Right. Silver obsidians. Oh, hi Beth, how are you doing? Right, Amanda, if you wish to make a purchase, then all you have to do is type the code that you want into the comments section, and then you direct message us with your email address. That's how easy it is. I'll make it sound worse than it is, but it's not that hard. This is the silver obsidian. We've got it in a 12mm. Now they're calling it double eye because it has a double flash. When you turn the beads, you'll see they're really, really flashy. If you go onto our website, you'll also find things like little paws in silver obsidian. There's some little cat heads. There's some really cute beads, single beads in silver obsidian that would go beautifully with these. This one is a 12mm 687 for £17.50. I'll run through the sizes. We've got a 10mm, which is 688 for £13.50 on your 10mm silver obsidian. And again, they'll all be flashy beads. You won't get the strand with no flash. 688. Don't forget, you're going to get a 6-week wait, though, Amanda. Do keep that in mind, that there is an estimated 6-week delivery period, because these are fresh stock that's being manufactured from us when we place the order. 689, 1150. Oh, look at those. And that is your 8mm for £11.50. And then the 6mm is 690 for £9 for your 6mm. I've got a 687, please, for Tara Porter. I'll try and hold that a bit better for you. 690 for 6mm. Tara Porter 687. Louisa Gold 689. All of you latecomers are sneaking out the woodwork there. Look, they missed that. There is free UK post and packaging on this order, but there is an estimated 6-week delivery period. Okay, has everyone got that? I'll just run past the codes again. 689 for 690, sorry, 6mm. 689 is your 8mm. 688 is your 10mm. And 687 is your 12mm. I've got Stacey Armstrong on YouTube, please, for 690. I've got Amanda Disney, 2690s, please. Who else? Can you see anyone else? Make it 3 for Stacey Armstrong, please, she says. Yeah. And 689, 1 for Amanda Disney. Thank you. Look at these little wings. Aren't these cute? Oh, it's always worth the wait, Jill says, if you were wondering. Thank you very much, Jill. That's kind. It is worth the wait. Right, okay. I have got 3 different gemstone wings for you here. I don't know which one's first. The lapis is first, is it? Just a second. Poor Angela. Doesn't matter. Oh, that's it. She's up for a challenge. Just play any order you like. So here we go. Sorry, that's so good. Make it 5 strands, Stacey says. She'd like 5 strands of 690, please, for Stacey Armstrong. Thank you. Right, this is a lapis wing. So it's a faceted wing, and you can see it's got a lovely drill hole at the top there. Size-wise, they're about 24mm. So great size for a pendant if you just want to pop one on a pendant. Also for keychains, handbag charms. 678, £4.50 for the lapis. 678. I would recommend multi-purchasing. You can't just have one wing, can you? You just fly around in circles. 678, £4.50 for your lapis wing. Then we've got a black agate. This will be a dyed black agate. It is 679 for £4.50. And then a carnelian wing. So same again, and that is 680 for £4.50. I've got 2 678s for Sharon Kenny, 1 for Louisa Gall, 1 for Katrina Durrant. You're welcome, Stacey. They're so far away down there, aren't they? Let's get a bit closer. There you are. 678 is your lapis. Oh, my light's gone off. What's that about? Oh, battery's gone. Right, 678 is lapis, black agate, and carnelian. Right, okay, where did I get to? 678 for Katrina Durrant. 679 for Katrina Durrant, please. 680 for Jane Ledyard. 680 for Sarah Duckworth. 680 for Katrina Durrant. I'm going for 680 for Hazel Westwater. Excuse me, coughing. Welcome if you have just joined us this evening. We're doing a big bead live tonight. So these are actually samples. There is an estimated 6-week delivery on anything that you order because it is being cut for us. This is fresh stock. So there is an estimated 6-week delivery. But to counterbalance that, we're giving you free UK post and packaging. You need the code FREEPP. That will be in your email when you receive your invoice. So don't worry, you don't have to remember that code at all. Right, 680 for Hazel Westwater. Did you get that one? No, don't worry. It was 680. I corrected it for you later down. Yeah, 680 for Jane Ledyard, 680 for Sarah Duckworth, 680 for Katrina Durrant, a 680 for Sharon Kenny, and 1 for Hazel Westwater on YouTube. Wait a minute. Hazel Westwater doesn't want a 680. She's trying to bid on something else. Just a minute. And a 678 for Sarah Duckworth as well, please. A lapis. And then Hazel Westwater is trying to bid on the obsidian. She wants the obsidian 6mm. I can't remember the code either, Hazel, but I'm sure that Angela will find it for us. So there you are. So that is your wings. Okay, wings are done. Everybody done. Chris says these will make nice earrings. They certainly would, wouldn't they? Very, very cute. Very cute indeed. The 6mm obsidian, please. You've got your Hazel. There you are. Our rose quartz is back in stock. Now, you'll know that we're very fussy about rose quartz here, so it's all about the depth of colour and not losing the colour from the string when you're buying rose quartz from us. A 679 for Bridget, please. So if you look at the colour, the actual body colour of our rose quartz, even if you remove the pink string, you're still going to end up with a lovely pink rose quartz. You have to be a little bit careful when buying rose quartz because the majority of it in the market, particularly your internet purchases, is a dyed rose quartz. It's not declared either to a buyer. So if you're buying from people who aren't paying attention or they don't actually know anything about gemstones, they're just a buyer, then it's not going to be declared to them that most rose quartz is dyed. But ours is a natural rose quartz, and we bring it into stock when the batch is in because it goes in and out quite frequently, and we don't want it switched out with the dyed rose quartz. So this is a natural rose quartz. We're going to start with the 12mm size, so a lovely chunky size. 683 is your code, £16.50 for your large rose quartz. I'll just pop that around my neck there so you can see that is a lovely large size of rose quartz, although I'm quite liking a 12mm at the moment. 683 for the 12mm. We've got a 10mm which is 684. Now this one is considerably cheaper, £12.50 a strand. 684 for your 10mm, so again a nice chunky size and still that beautiful pink. 684. So when we get this in, we always say snap it up because we don't keep it in stock on the website anymore because we couldn't keep it in stock. The 6mm rose quartz was our biggest selling web line. We just couldn't keep it in stock. So now when it comes back, we just let you know that it's come back in. I've got a 684 for Tara Porter. This is your 8mm round. 685 for £11 a strand. A 684 for Beth McDougall. No worries, Jill. See you soon. 685, £11 for your 8mm. And then the smallest size we're doing is a 6mm. 685 for Beth McDougall. A 685 for Louisa Gall. 686 is £9. That is your 6mm rose quartz. 686 is your code there. Again, a nice pink colour. I'll just pop those codes there. I've got a 685 for Louisa Gall, please. A 685 for Beth McDougall. And one for Chris Puffer. What grade would you give it? So, Stacey, we don't work with the gemstone grading system. So there is no international grading system for coloured gemstones. There is a very slight exception in the world of tanzanite, where there is a grading system that is generally used. Now, the grading systems that you see on the internet, which is what you're talking about, I'm sure, which is your quadruple A, triple A, double A, A, B, C, etc., is totally independent from that supplier. And it doesn't really have any relevance to anything other than what they are trying to sell you it as. That's all it is. I have been an international gemstone buyer. It makes me sound like something from a film, but I've been an international gemstone buyer for over 20 years. And the way that we actually set the color grades is by sealed sample sets. So I would go over to a supplier, I will create a sample, he will have a sample, I will have a sample, and they are sealed in front of me. And that is our color sample. I take mine away and I know that when I order that sample next time, he has an exact color of what the one that I'm expecting to hold. So when you're buying things on the internet and it's saying it's quadruple A, triple A, B, that doesn't actually mean anything to anybody. It's just a sales tool to make you think it is a premium product. So I can understand that you're trying to ask of what sort of quality is the gemstone, but it's not a system that we use. Now, in the world of tanzanite, it's a little bit different because there was an international color grading system set, but it wasn't adopted by everybody, but it is quite specific. So sometimes I might use that as a reference, because the top color of the tanzanite quadruple was only ever 2% of all the tanzanite mines. So it's really, really rare. And actually, it's almost impossible to find now. So that one we might call upon as a potential. The other one that on occasion we will discuss is Larimar, because the patterns in Larimar can generally mean the same to everybody when you're talking about the different grading, but we certainly wouldn't do it for your regular beads. So when it comes to these beads, I won't give them a grade on a quadruple A, triple A, double A system. What I'm saying is that the beads themselves, we only purchase responsibly sourced, nice quality gemstones. That's what we're all about here. So we won't receive gemstones that you don't like. You wouldn't receive a rose quartz from us where you take the string out and the color disappears. You won't receive a rose quartz from us where the color is dyed and we haven't told you it's dyed. We don't sell dyed rose quartz. And we will always disclose all of those treatments. We'll disclose any quality features. So if the gemstone itself doesn't take a very good polish, or it doesn't ever come very round, so things like leopard skin jasper, they don't always come as a perfect sphere because of the hardness of the different materials within it. Sometimes you get a sort of wibbly wobbly surface. We'll always tell you that, especially when we're live. We've got that opportunity to ask, and we'll tell you if there is something unusual about that gemstone strand. But the rose quartz are lovely quality. When you're looking at buying rose quartz, you're looking for either a saturation of color. So you can see here that these are a lovely pink, but there's also a translucency to some of the beads. So if we look at this one here, you can see through some of the beads. That's opaque on the side and then translucent on the front, but it's not losing its pink. So this is a very nice quality of rose quartz. And you'll also find that our price will reflect the value of the gemstone. So we're very, very key to make sure that our customers understand what they're buying. If I were bringing you this rose quartz strand now for £4.50, our audience would know that that is going to be a lower quality than our usual rose quartz strand, but would also say, I would tell you, this is not our regular rose quartz strand. This is a lower quality strand. So it's just getting to know us really and creating that bit of trust. But ask any questions you want. Please don't think I'm criticizing you for asking that sort of question, because it is a miscommunication on the internet, and you have to be really careful when buying on the internet like that, because there isn't that international grading standard like there is for diamonds. That's my little lesson there over. A little sidetrack. I've got 2 686s for Kate Minard, one for Nicola Bijou, one for Beth McDougall. I've got an 865 for Kate Minard. Stacey's totally understand. Wondered with your knowledge what you would give this. And that's what I meant. Sorry to confuse. Amazing to learn more from you. Thank you very much. So I wouldn't give it a grade at all, because I don't believe in that system at all. But this is a very nice quality, opaque, beautiful, holds great color rose quartz that you're going to be really happy with. That's how I'd describe it. I would never say this is like a triple A quality. It's just not the terminology that I'd use. 686, which is 5 for Stacey Armstrong. Thank you. Okay, everybody done with the rose quartz? Let's pop those away. Please always feel free to ask any questions like that, because I'm happy to talk about anything in the marketplace that you find confusing. And if you want to know, just ask away. Sorry, what did you say, Angela? 686, the 6mm, 5, please. Thank you. A 686 for Sheila Richardson. This is an unusual one. Now, we brought this material to you in a crystal form, in a hearts, in spheres, and in little shapes. And this they sell as aquamarine, but I couldn't bring myself to call it aquamarine, because you know what I'm like. So aquamarine is part of the beryl family, and the beryl family includes emerald, aquamarine, morganite, heliodor, all of those different coloured beryls. So aquamarine is a blue beryl, emerald is a green beryl, and morganite is a pink beryl, and so on and so forth. However, if I describe this to you as emerald, because it's green, I think it's got some blue and some green in it personally. I think you'd be really disappointed when you got it back, because I think emerald is a green beryl that we visualize as a particular color of green. So I've called it, through lack of imagination, pastel beryl. Because I didn't want to mislead anyone. So it's got your blues and your greens in there, but they are not your traditional aquamarine and emerald colours. So I didn't want to be misleading. So this is your 8mm round. Look, and almost honey coloured. It's so pretty. And as I said, we've seen this in a crystal form, but I've not seen this particular material to be beaded. I'm loving the fact that they're getting the material for the crystals and beading it. It's just so cool, isn't it? We're getting everything through. But what a pretty strand. Really, really nice. So these are beryls. The blue ones you can legally sell as aquamarine, and the green ones you can legally sell as emerald. That's totally up to you. But for me at the moment, I've called it pastel beryl because you've got that great variation in the strand. It's still the beryl family, so these beautiful precious gemstones, and that is an 8mm round. I've only got the one size. That's the only one that I've seen in the marketplace, and I just think they're gorgeous. Let's have a look at them in a bit of closer detail. So they're an opaque strand, and lots of them, you've got a bit of color variation between them. I'm sure you could sort them, but it's really pretty. Don't you think that's a really pretty strand for a beryl strand? Totally different. 810, 8mm round, £17.50. Oh, that's nice. Thank you, Stacey. Stacey says she's new, but she's going to stay. That's nice to know. Thank you very much. 810, £17.50. If you ever want to answer a question but you don't want to ask it publicly, you can always direct message us with the question as well. You don't have to publicly ask if you don't want to. But it's great. You know, I was going to do a video. We're doing pearls next week, and I thought to myself, as I was thinking about all the pearl information that I've got to show you over the course of the week, and will I get it ready, and will it come out to you? Who knows? But because we've been out to the pearl farms and got the whole process of the pearl farming, so I could show you all these videos on all of these things. And then I thought, what do you actually want to know? So I might just do a video saying, why don't you just ask me what you'd like to know, so that I know what everyone wants to hear about? Or am I just telling you the same thing over and over again? I'm not quite sure. This is a gorgeous fluorite. Look at this. I mean, I love a fluorite. It's one of my favorites. But you've got fluorites with lots of inclusions in here. This is classed as a feather fluorite, and you can see you've got loads of different inclusions in here. So some of the fluorite beads are not 100% round. You've got slight flats on them, and that's going to be due to the I'd say to the inclusions actually in the fluorite. So sometimes when you get an inclusion, I'm sure Ken will shout out now, but sometimes when you get an inclusion within a gemstone, it has a different hardness to the actual gemstone. So you're cutting it and then it's a slightly different hardness. So you won't find that all 100% round. But saying that, look, I mean, they're not off round. I'm just warning you that they're not the most perfect sphere, but you've got inclusions within all these fluorites. Gorgeous array of colors. Again, a very different strand to your typical fluorite. And this is the 8mm. It's only £7.50. Oh, lovely. What a treat. 691, £7.50 for your 8mm feather fluorite. And again, we've seen this in crystal form and now new into bead form. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful strand with all your purples and your greens and then your touches of inclusions in there. 691 I've got for Chris Puffer on YouTube, please. Then I've got one for Hannah Lorendu. Yes, Candy, remind me at the end and I'll sneak you over to the few that I've got out. One for Carol Wilson. One for Tracy Merrick. Two for Amanda Disney. One for Beverly Jackson on YouTube. 691, £7.50 for your 8mm round. I think you need 3 strands if you're going to do on Marla. I think that's right. If Fleur's still there, she'll tell me otherwise. This one is the 6mm round. So same feather fluorite. If you come along to our lovely new viewers, if you come along on a Friday morning at 9:30 in the morning, so a nice early start, with a cup of tea, you can stay in your pajamas, you don't have to be dressed. You can ask any questions. It's a very casual live on a Friday, and we have lots of lovely chats. We chat about all sorts of stuff, and you can come along and ask any questions that you like. About the gemstones or the jewelry trade or anything that you like, really. I mean, to be honest, we talk about just about anything. So 692 is your code here for a 6mm round feather fluorite at just £6.50. Yes, it is. Thank you very much, Rani. I think it's that charger that's not good, but I have ordered a new phone. It's not here yet. 692, £6.50. One for Hannah Lorendu, one for Chris Puffer, one for Carol Wilson. 3 strands of 8mm are needed for 108 beads on a mile necklace. Thank you very much, Jill. 692 for Beverly Jackson on YouTube. 2 for Nicola Bijou. 2 for Amanda Disney. 1 for Tara Porter. 1 for Holly Darko. 2 for Beth McDougall. 2 for Kate Minard. 692 is your code for your 6mm round feather fluorite. It's really beautiful. Thank you, Amanda. 692. I've got a 691 for Rani if you want to run back up, please, Angela. She's just going to finish the 692s. If anyone else wants a 691 to go with the 692s, so then now's the time when Angela's going back up the sheet anyway. 691 is your 8mm for just £7.50. That is great value for money. Excuse me, coughing, sorry. Rani still hasn't figured out what a mala is. It's just a very long necklace, Rani, with 108 beads. Has to have 108 beads, and it's got a big guru bead, and it's just very, very long. Normally got a tassel on them. A 692 for Catherine Woolard. Lovely. Okay, we're on to some amber now. So these are very nice ambers. Very nice indeed. Look at these. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, I think this is probably natural amber, but they didn't say that to me. So I'm not going to state that it is untreated amber. So the majority of amber that you see, the Baltic amber in the marketplace, is in fact, it's treated. It's compressed, if you like. I can't remember the word. It's gone right out of my head, but it's a compressed amber. And then they can add the inclusions back in, so they can recreate little spangles and things like that by putting it under pressure. But we do, last time we did an amber live, we haven't done an amber live for ages actually, have we? But last time we did an amber live, we had the natural amber beads, which hadn't been treated in any way. And they look very, very much like this. And I think this is a natural untreated amber, but we haven't said that because we can't be 100% sure. But it's very, very pretty, and it does go with those nuggets. So you can see it's got a lovely variation in color within the bead, so you're getting quite the dark cognac-y colors, and then going into the lime with some beautiful, beautiful inclusions. I don't have my loop today. Where's my loop? Oh, I've taken it somewhere, haven't I? I even got a spare. I've got a spare toolkit here, but it's not. I've taken that one as well. So absolutely gorgeous, aren't they? This is the larger size. This is 821, 8mm round, and that is £36 a strand for the 8mm round. Oh, it's a prayer necklace. It has 108 prayers. Oh, I didn't know that. Thank you. 821, £36 for your 8mm, and then your 6mm is slightly paler, but still, again, with those darker inclusions, really nicely, very cleverly cut, I think. And this is the 6mm for £24.50, so a little bit more affordable if you can't quite stretch to the 8mm, but still beautiful. 820, £24.50, and that is your Baltic amber. Lovely colours, beautiful inclusions. 820 for £24.50 for your 6mm, and 821 for £36 for your 8mm. Look Look at the size of these bad boys. I've got an 821 for Tara Porter. I've got an 820 for Karen Atkinson. Okay, right. We're moving on now to, I'm just going to check my battery on my laptop because I didn't plug that in, did I? We're moving on now to rather fabulous Tiger's Eye. Look at the chatoyancy on here. Look at these. And they're such a juicy size. So the pattern is epic. Wow. Cool. These are enormous. How big are they? I'm going for 14 millimeters. 16 millimeters. 16s. That is one hell of a big bead. Right, so the beautiful premium quality Tiger's Eye, definitely. You can see the chatoyancy going through the beads. Absolutely gorgeous. This one is 648 for 16 millimeter beads, 26.50. So 26.50, you're going to get loads of beads on your strand there. The lovely large size with the really, really high chatoyant effect. 648, sorry, 26.50. Mala is used in Buddhism as a prayer necklace, like a rosary is used for Catholics. They have station beads every so often, spaced differently for different prayers. I have made them for my Buddhist friend. Oh, that's nice, Jane. Thank you. That's excellent information. I can't hold this one. It just wants to wobble away. You can see that all the beads are as beautiful. So a lovely large bead at 648, 26.50. But don't worry, I've got it in a smaller, more regular size for others who don't want giant beads, but still sticking with that lovely quality, loads of chatoyancy. And again, beautifully cut, very well thought out beads. You can see that within the strand. So when I'm looking to buy the strand, you're looking that within the strand, you've got uniformity within your beads. So all of the chatoyancy are going in the same direction. So you can see they kind of line up. So that's a very thoughtful bead cutter, not a cheap commercial bead cutter, but someone who's actually cutting nice gemstone beads. All these things matter. This is, no, that's the wrong code. This one is a 10 millimeter round and it is 649, £14.50, which I think is a great price for the quality of Tiger's Eye. 649, £14.50 for your 10 millimeter round bead. I'll bring these codes back up shortly and recap them because we've got it in a 16 mil, a 10 mil, an 8 mil, and what looks to be a 6 mil. Oh, and I've got a 4 mil hiding down there. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Yeah, again, they've tried to get all of the rings on each bead. I've got a 649 for Tara Porter. This is the 8 millimeter, 650 is the code, £9.50, and you're getting gorgeous chatoyancy and the rings on all of those beads. 650 is your code for £9.50 for your 8 mil. Excuse me, my cough's returning. Then your 6 millimeter, 651, £8.50. Things that get on my nerves are when they put through the bead strands this thick wire, and it makes them really difficult to hold and extremely difficult to photograph. Whereas sometimes they put a thread through, and that makes my life so much easier. 651, 6 millimeter, £8.50. The 10 mil looks tiny. It does next to the 16. 651, that is your 8 millimeter. And then £7.50 for your 4 millimeter. That was a 6 millimeter. I was lying. I'm going to run back through the codes now. I've confused everybody. 652 is £7.50, and that is for your 4 millimeter round Tiger's Eye. 652 for £7.50. If you're watching the live back, you can always direct message us with any codes, and we will add them onto your invoice or create you an invoice. 651 for Tara Porter. Thank you, Rani. I'll do that when I get home. 648 is 16 millimeters. 649 is 10 millimeters. 648 is 8 millimeters. 651 is 6 millimeters, and 652 is your 4 millimeters. I've got a 652 for Desi KR, please. Lovely. Let's take you away. You can't just have your regular tiger's eye. We thought we'd bring you some red tiger's eye as well. Woo! So red tiger's eyes, and this red tiger's eye is a natural coloured tiger's eye. So it naturally occurs in the yellow colour. Sometimes it gets a bit yellower than that one that I've just shown you. A yellow colour, you get a natural blue tiger's eye, and you get a natural red tiger's eye. All these colours can be dyed, and they do lots of dyed tiger's eye as well. But this is your natural red tiger's eye. So you're going to get that same chatoyant effect, but this time the body colour is a lovely dark burgundy colour. And as we were discussing earlier, that's extremely trendy at the moment. So all good stuff. 653 for your 10mm, only £12 a strand. 653, 10mm red tiger's eye, £12 a strand. Nice, aren't they? We've then got 8mm in your natural reds. This one is 654 for £9 a strand for your red 8mm. Your red 6mm, £8 a strand, 655 for £8. And then the 4mm, I've got a 654 for Carol Wilson, thank you. A 654 for Desi. And that is your 4mm, 656 for £7. £654 for Rani. I'll just run through those codes for you again in case you've missed the codes. That one. 10mm 653, 8mm 654, 6mm 655, and 4mm 656. There you go. That's your red tiger's eye. Sheila would like a 654 and a 655, please, Angela. Right. Look at these itsy bitsies. I've got a whole range of these. A 656, please, for Beverly Jackson. And then this one. 5 different colourways we got here for you. Look, aren't they cute? These are your 2mm round gemstones, so perfect for stackers or spacers, and very nice. They're very nice indeed. Are you ready? We're going to start with, which one do we start with? Maybe this one. Black spinel. So you've got a black spinel 2mm round. So these are 2mm round beads in black spinel, very shiny black spinel. 669 for £7 a strand. All our strands are approximately 38 centimeters with 0.6 to 0.8 drill holes. 669 for your 2mm black spinel for £7. I've got rhodonite, which I've not seen in a 2mm before. I think it's very cute. So your rhodonite 2mm, so lovely touches of pink in there. 672 for £6 a strand. Rhodonite, smooth round 2mm, £6 a strand. Next, we've got the Amazonite. And again, nice pastel colours. 673 for £8. Excuse me. 673 for £8. I've got 2 672s for Desi. I've then got a blue tiger's eye. I've got a 672, please, for Hazel Westwater on YouTube. 675 for £6.50. That is actually a very dark blue tiger's eye. 675. Oops. Hold on. There went my plan. I'm so sorry about the cough. And then I've got a carnelian, which is beautiful, isn't it? £5 a strand for your smooth round carnelian. 676. All those lovely colours. 676, £5 a strand. Aren't they nice? I like all the minis. So 676 for your carnelian, 675 for your blue tiger's eye, 673 for your amazonite, 672 for the rhodonite, and 669 for your black spinel. 676, please, for hazel westwater. I'm going to whip them all away now. A 676 for hazel westwater. I'm not sure if that's what I just said. Thank you. Just repeating myself there. 2676 for Sheila Richardson. Now, sticking with the 2mm, but bringing in the facets, I've got a carnelian micro-faceted 2mm. I can't see the holes anymore in a 2mm, Jane says. It's like threading a needle, is it? Really tricky. 677 is your faceted carnelian, £6.50 a strand. You see all the little facets all over there. And then 671 is your black spinel faceted at only £5, which is insane when the smooth was £7. Sorry. 671 for £5. Right, I've got 2 676s for Candice and 2 673s for Candice. If you could bid as we go, guys, that really helps Angela out. If you put them together like that, then she has to go up and down the sheet. But if you bid them as they come on, she tends to be in the right block. But obviously, if you don't want to, you can do whatever you like. But that is going to be the most helpful way. What is a 712? I don't know. I'm not sure what 712 is, Candice. We'll have a look. We're not sure what gemstone that is. So that is your microfaceted rounds. No, don't be sorry. I'm just saying for future. We don't really mind. I'm just saying. On the 671s, I've got Tara Porter and Nicola Bijou. And Candice, can you let us know what the 712 is? Because we're not sure which one it is. If you think Marie is allergic to gemstones, I was allergic to dust. It gave me, when the gemstones were in my house, I got asthma. So, yeah, that was not fun. Oh, it was 4mm Amazonite round. She's going to find it. Going to find it for you. Don't worry. Sorry, I had to take a call. Did you show the natural red tiger's eye? It looked amazing, and I missed the codes. Oh no, Stacey, I did. Let me just run through the codes. This is the red tiger's eye. 4mm 656, 6mm 655, 8mm 654, and 10mm 653. This one, while Angela's still looking for 712, try the Amazonite 4mm. We'll write you down, Candice. We'll find you in the end. This is an aquamarine strand, so it's a pale blue aquamarine strand with inclusions. I quite like it. I think it's quite quirky, don't you? A nice chunky aqua. If that was a really high deep blue color, you'd be looking at absolutely loads of money for that strand because of its size. I quite like the inclusions, and I quite like the choice of pastel colors. I think it's quite a pretty strand. This one is only £14.50. 826 is your code, and that is £14.50. 9 by 12mm. 3654 for Stacey Armstrong, please, on YouTube, which was the red tiger's eye. 654. 826 is your code for the included aquamarine, £14.50, and that was 9 by 12 millimeters, so a nice chunky size there, as you can see. 826, £4.50, £14.50, sorry, 3, please. So Stacey Armstrong. Sorry, Angela can't see YouTube, so I have to be quite clear in what I'm saying. 826, 9 by 12 millimeters. Then this one is probably on one of my favorites list that has come through. They are I think they called it pink. Oh no, they might not have done. This one is a pink agate, but it's like a blue lace agate, but it's pale pink. How cool is that? Look at the patterns. Look, beautiful patterns in there. I'm so sorry. Imagine had I been here last week. It would have been awful for you all. So this one is your pink agate, smooth rounds, 8 millimeters, £18.50. I imagine it's quite rare. I've not seen it before, so I guess they've beaded it to see what it looks like. It's a gorgeous color. The color's not really showing up on the screen. 827, £18.50 for your pink agate. I think they should have called it pink lace agate, personally. An 827 for Carol Wilson. Thank you, Carol. I'll take these last 3 out of this box. Excuse me, jumping around. Right, I'm going to stop coughing now, I promise. An 827 for Tara Porter. Candy ordered those on the pop-up shop. An 827 for Jill Horton. And 1 for Louisa Gall. They are really lovely. Now, this is a new shape to me. I've not seen this. Yeah, that's a natural pink, striped pink agate. We've not seen that before either, Stacey. That is a new one to us. So that's a good find, but it's not dyed. It's a natural colour. Right, this is a new shape. This is a hexagon shape. Look at that, in a multi-gemstone strand. I've got this in a couple of sizes. Excuse me, sorry, we're nearly done. I won't cough on you all night. This is the multi-gemstone and the larger size. And then I've selected 2, 4, 5, 6 different ones in the smaller size. But we've only got 2 in the larger size. I should have brought my Werther's Originals in. I had one in my pocket. Oh, I've still got one in my pocket. Werther's Originals have this amazing buttery, creamy magic that stops me coughing. So I'm going to, it's a very good excuse. We don't worry about the sugar. It's fine. Oh, you need an M&S Jammy Dodger for your cough. I do. I tell you, I'm so glad there's no Marks and Spencer's on my doorstep. 827s, please could I have 3 for Stacey Armstrong on YouTube? Right, so this is a hexagonal bead. I can't wait to see what everyone makes with this shape. And I wish I got it to Gemma first, but because of this type of live, I couldn't. I was trying and lubricate the cough with the Werther's Original. So I love Werther's, Tracy says. I take them all over the world. There's always one lingering around in the car. They've got to be everywhere. Right, so in this this hexagon shape, you've got a whole range of different gemstones in here. And this one is 8 by 5 millimeter, 718 is the code, and it is 24.50. You can see that the strand is absolutely packed full of little hexagons. Are they gemstone bolts? They do look like gemstone bolts. If only they would screw on to something, that would be very exciting. 718, 24.50. I just can't wait to see what you make. What are you going to do with little hexagons? I bet they're going to come up with all sorts of quirky ideas. 718. You can get a kilo pack, I'm presuming, of Werther's Originals, Desi says, from Costco. 718, that's your multi-gemstone. Then I've got the same size, which is the 8 by 5, 725 in a fancy jasper. And you know how I love a fancy jasper, because you get all the colours in the fancy jasper. It goes kind of into a tree agate and a moss agate and a bit of everything in there, even though it's Jasper. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. 725, 24.50 for the fancy Jasper. Karen Atkinson would like a fancy Jasper. Now I've got a smaller size. This is a 6 by 3 millimeter, and I'm going to bring out all of the gemstone types. So first one we've got is serpentine. Then we've got a crazy lace. Oh, look at this. A crazy lace in a mini hexagon. We're going to do a red jasper. But I've actually got loads of different types of material on my desk, but I had to narrow it down. We would have had just a show of little hexagons. Cambaba jasper. Nice patterns in Cambaba. Your bronzite. Very shiny. We've got some gorgeous bronzite cabs on the website, but they're big cabs. And then a multi jasper to sort of encapsulate all the other ones that are left out the live. Nice colours, huh? Do you like them? Do you like my choices? Right, let's get all the tickets. Right, give them a go then. This one. So these are 3 by 6 millimeters hexagons, 737 for the serpentine at 21.50. You do get absolutely loads on your strand though, loads and loads and loads. Brand new shape. 737 21.50 for your serpentine. Your crazy is 755. I think they're all 21.50 by the way. For 21.50. Your crazy lace, nice patterns in there. 755. Your red jasper. 760. 21.50. Your Cambaba. 734 the Cambaba jasper. Bronzite 770 21.50, and the multi gemstone is 729 at 21.50. I've got 734 for Karen Atkinson, please, which is your Cambaba. So you've got all these different varieties there. Let me pull the camera down to those. Serpentine 737. Crazy lace is 755. Red jasper is 760. Cambaba jasper, which is the green one, that is 734. Bronzite is 770, and 729 is your multi gems. sorry. 734 for Karen Atkinson. I got 729 for Kate Minard, and a 729 for Jill Horton, please. You can, Holly, just a second. I'll just let Angela do those. Right, I'm going to pop these away. A 718 for Holly Darko, please. I think they're quite nice. I quite like the new shape. You'll be 718, please. It was one. It was the one of the first, the larger size. Right. Let's do a couple of different fluorite strands, not a feather fluorite this time, just a regular fluorite. Lots of pretty colors. Look at that. Very nice. 3 with spaces in a corded bracelet for the man in your life as they are nut shaped. Oh, that's a good idea. I like that. Yeah. Do you think he'll be insulted if you call him a nut? uh, or just because they're manly, Jane, for a very manly man. So these are your 8mm fluorite beads. So multi-fluorite beads in the lovely colours. So you've got your purples, you've got your blues, your greens, a lovely choice of colours, beautiful translucency, very nice strand. This one is 702 for £16.50, and that is an 8mm round bead at £16.50. 702. Sorry, I'm struggling to hold it for some reason. It's slippery, this one. 702, 1650 for the 8mm, and for the 6mm, these are very typical fluorite bead strands, 703 for 1350 in your 6mm. Jill loves the hexagons. Pete's put her on a ban, so she's not allowed. Let's move on. Those, I've got a couple of layouts. Can have 2 extra pink agates. 827, please. Stacey Armstrong would like another 2 827. No problem at all. Come back, little layout. Here it is. Look at this beauty. It is a pink agate. This is a lovely Picasso Jasper layout. So it's a graduated strand of a lovely, sorry, and it also is quite tricky to hold. You can see here that it's graduated and it's on the wire that annoys me because it's really hard to hold. In lots of lovely colours, so your burgundies through to your greens and your yellows, very pretty indeed. That is a Picasso Jasper. Size wise, it goes from, let's have a look, it goes from 10 by 17 to 10 by 39. You get 11 pieces. They're only £10. So £10 for a layout is a really, really good price. I've got 703, please, for Stacey Armstrong. She'd like 5 of those. 703. I'm not sure what that is. Oh dear. I can't hold it properly. Yeah, 5 of those, please. 681 is your code for the layout. I've got on the 681s, 1 for Hannah Lorendu and 2 for Nicola Bijou. Sorry, it was such a pain to hold that one. I've got a slightly easier one to hold now. This is Impression Jasper. That's what it's known as in the marketplace. This is a reconstructed dyed material. So this is blue. Sorry, Picasso Jasper. I called it. It's called. I'm sure it's called Impression Jasper. Anyway, it's. I'm going to write impression. Impression. It is an Impression Jasper. I've got on the 681s, 1 for Holly Darko, 1 for Sheila Richardson, and 1 for Jewel Horton. Now in here, so this is a reconstructed dye material. So it's a gemstone that has been ground down and put back together, and also dyed blue. It's very affordable. It's £9. Size wise, 15 by 35 to 20 by 50. So you're getting 2 of the smaller sizes and 1 of the large one. It's very, very popular in the marketplace. 682 for £9. I've got 1 for Hannah Lorendu. Just going off screen 1 second to blow my nose. Just a minute. Thank you. 1 for Marissa Walsh. 682 for £9. So dyed and reconstructed. It will tell you that on your invoice. 682. I'm nowhere near in the end, Angela. It's rubbish. This is a 4mm micro faceted black spinel, extremely sparkly. If you've got to get your seasonal outfits ready, then you need some black spinel in your life, because look how shiny that is. It'll catch all the lights. If you're going out somewhere nice, if you're going dancing, it will look great as tassels or tassel earrings. It's so, so sparkly. This is a 4mm round, 670 for £11 a strand. Beautiful strand. We did bring you the 2mm earlier. This is the slightly chunkier size. Very, very, very great, effective gemstone. Because it's got a high fracture index, that makes it extremely sparkly as a material. So 670 is the code, and that is £11. I've got one for Tara Porter. Anyone else? No one else for a 4mm black spinel? Are you all turned into hermits and no one's going out over the festive period? I think you've got to get your sparkles out. Right, this they've called SU, S-U fluorite. I don't know what that means, so they wouldn't write anything rude. I'm confident of that. So I just went with it. It's an opaque fluorite. Again, not something I've seen before. This is a new one in the marketplace. Very pretty though, nice colours. So you've got your natural, sort of natural neutral colours, and then your purple colours in there. This is a natural gemstone. It's not been dyed or treated in any way. I'm saying natural instead of neutral colours, I suppose. Yeah, I think they're very pretty. Yeah, for an opaque fluorite, which you don't really get. Everyone seems to want its translucency, really. But it's quite nice. I like that. This one let me go for the big size. This one is a 10mm round. It is 618 for £16. Yes, Sue fluorite, but I don't know what it means. A 670 from Marissa Walsh, thank you. This is 816. If you're making your planets, you'll probably find a few planets in here as well. 816 for £16 for your fluorite strand in the 10mm. We've then got an 8mm. Again, you're seeing lots of colours in there, lots of patterns. The black spinel code is 670, Stacey, 670. Different, isn't it? I quite like it. £12.50 for your Sue fluorite in an 8mm. Mrs. Dong's coming over in the next couple of weeks, so I'll ask her what it means, Sue fluorite. Greens and purples, nice. 815, £12.50, and then your 6mm. I'll just hold them like this. So look at it. What's that one got on it? There. That's what they hold them onto the cutting stick with. An 815 for Kate Minard. 814 for the 6mm. Just £8.50. 814. Beautiful. Very nice, I think. Next, I've got an 814 for Hannah Lorendu. Thank you. Now, this, they said, is yellow Botswana agate. Look at that. It does have some of the stripes of a Botswana agate. I did pick it up and think it was fluorite, but they're saying yellow Botswana agate, and I've not seen that particular stripe, seeing that bead there in, or that one in a fluorite. So they're saying it's yellow Botswana agate, and I've certainly never seen that before. 819 in the 18mm is £18.50, sorry. And you've got some oranges in there and some peachy colours, which you do get this colour in Botswana, don't you? Typically, but I've not seen the yellow. I hope they make a cab of that as well, because that would be really pretty in the cab. And then the 6mm. Same again, 818 for £16.50 for your 6mm yellow Botswana agate. Beautiful. £16.50. So your 8mm and your 6mm. Google says Sue fluorite is a natural, undyed, untreated fluorite. Oh, there you are. Thank you very much. Right now, for my most favourite strand out of all the strands, I think I liked them. Out of my favourites was the Hypers theme, because that's awesome. The Malachite was really nice, but I absolutely love this. And we do have it in a cab, and it didn't sell as well as I'd hoped because I couldn't get the photos to show the color. It's just so hard to photograph. But this is purpurite. Now it's not a cheap strand, but it is absolutely incredible. So purpurite. Why is the camera not working? Can you see the camera, Angela? Ah, here it is. Right, sorry, you've got a bit of a delay. Yes, that is it live now. So purpurite looks like a black material, and then when you catch it in the correct light, it has a bright purple flash. Can you see that there? So hard to see on the camera. The camera just doesn't like it. Look at the bright purple flash. So it looks black when you wear it on the wrist, and then as soon as it catches the light, you're going to get this really vivid purple flash. It's just such a cool gemstone, and a gemstone that's really not known in the marketplace. Not a lot of it. When I was last out in India, the supplier I was working with for the jewelry live, he'd not heard of purpurite, and I was like, oh, it's just so incredible. Look at the purple. Look at the bright purple in there, and that is a natural phenomenon within the stone. It's just awesome. If you like something that's subtle, then this is it. This is absolutely it. But to cut it into a bead, it is so hard to even cut it into a cab. So when we sell it as a cab, it often has fractures that run across the top. And I remember one customer saying that it was damaged. And I'm like, it's not damaged. It's the natural material. It's just how it is. But to have cut it, they must have obviously stabilized it. But to cut it into beads, it's just epic. I couldn't believe they'd made it into a bead. It's so good. I knew you'd love it, Karen. It's right up your street. It isn't a cheap gemstone strand, but it's rare. I've not seen it cut as a bead before. It's absolutely epic. You can see the purple flashing in there. I just think it's one of those that people just wouldn't know what it was. You'd know exclusively that it's something really, really special. And what a cool strand. Absolutely cool. This one is 822. Only comes in the one size. I've not seen it in any other size. I wasn't expecting it in the parcel at all, so I was really thrilled to get it. And it is 822, 8mm round, £66, but worth every penny of £66. I'm sure not something you're going to find readily anywhere, really. If you like a black gemstone with a purple flash, of course, 822 is £66. I do appreciate that it is a more considered purchase, but it's because it's really, really rare. And that's what you're paying for in your gemstones, is usually the rarity, the durability, and the fact it's a gemstone. It's really cool. 822, £66, only coming in an 8mm round. I hope they do cut it in a smaller size as well. But I think if you went too small, you'd lose your purple flash. Look at the purple. Oh, look. Get it really close to the camera there. I've got one for Tara Porter. And we do have it in the cabs. I might bring the cabs on tomorrow morning's live, so that you can see them in the flesh, because they're just absolutely beautiful. Don't keep it on your wish list for long, Stacey. We're not a hardcore salespeople here. That's not how it works. But these gemstones have been sent over as a sample. We'll order exactly what we sell. And then if they come back, they come back. And if they don't, they don't. And you'll see that with Chalmers Gems as you go through, that when we're going out all over the world on location, which we will be out again before the end of the year, that you sort of have to snap it up when it comes along, because we don't always get them back in stock. I've got an 822 for Carol Wilson, an 822 for Helen Bromfield. It's not a gemstone I know a lot of gemmy facts about. It's not one that's publicized in any way. I think if I gave it to most gemologists, they wouldn't know what it was, because it's not something that's really talked about. It's just really cool. 822. Don't forget to sneak a peek at the pearls. Yes, I'll do that for you. We've got 3 more gemstone strands, then we're going to sneak a peek at the pearls. Anyone else? 822. Lovely. If you want to purchase from the live, Stacey, after the live, or anybody else, then you can direct message us with the codes. The pop-up shop ran last weekend, so it won't be coming back on this weekend. So you've got until Sunday night. Try and pay your invoices over the weekend for me, and then the invoice will be placed early next week. Right, Chris Puffer would like an 822, please. Right, the last one is the African amethyst, sticking with the purple theme. pretty as well. Your chocolate box, typical chocolate box coloured amethyst, nice solid uniform colour, absolutely gorgeous, typical staple for your makes. Everyone loves an amethyst. No, the pop-up ran last weekend, Helen, while I wasn't very well, so it's done now, but you can direct message in with the codes if you like, then just drop us direct message. Now the spinel strand was £11. That's the spinel, 670 for £11. Thank you very much, Beverly, for asking for Stacey. Right, let's do the amethyst. Amethyst 8mm round is £17.50. 666 is the code. Oh, we don't normally use the code 666. I've never noticed it before. £17.50. 666 for the 8mm round. 667. Are you eating your dinner there, Angela? No, what is it? I'm intrigued. 667, £13.50. I didn't hear what you were eating. I made a whole meal for the whole family, and they all just went out and left me. And there was no. And then Carl came. I had made a chicken curry and a jacket potato, like proper winter food it was, and they all just went out and left me. 668, £12 for the 4mm. Can Karen and I go halves on a strand? You can, if one of you bids on the strand and then you sort it out amongst yourselves, then that's fine. Yeah, that's not a problem. You can just direct message us afterwards, Jill, if you want to add it to somebody's invoice. 668, £12. I've got 670, 3 for Stacey Armstrong. The new agate with the lilac beads in it. 670. I don't have a 670, Stacey. Oh yeah, the back spinel. That's right, for Stacey. She did ask that for that code. What was the code for the new agate with 3, please? Lilac beads in it. I think you mean lilac, Bridget. Was it these? Was it that one, Bridget? That was the Sue fluorite. He came home just as I was leaving and said he couldn't come and help me because he had to do the kitchen light. Other than that, I'm not sure which ones you were after, Bridget, so let me know. Right, that's all of the strands I've got for you today. You can, of course, join me in the morning if you'd like to review them or watch the live back and direct message it in with the codes. That's not a problem. Now, Candy wants to have a sneak at the pearls, so I'm just going to try and work my camera. 668, 2 for Stacey Armstrong, please. The pink lace agate. Bridget, the pink lace agate, this one, is 627. The African amethyst is a solid, very, very purple amethyst, whereas the chevron amethyst has the chevron of quartz going through it, so the colour changes with the pattern. 627, £18.50. The Sue fluorite. Let me just put this camera back. Sue fluorite, I've got in the 10mm, 8mm, 6mm. 6mm, 10mm is 816 for £16. How much were the big nuts? Did we sell nuts? 8mm is £12.50. And the 6mm were £8.50. The big nuts, I don't remember any nuts. The bolts. Yes, the faceted hexagons were £24.50 for the larger size and £21.50 for the smaller size. And they came in all different beads. Yes, that's right. Right, okay. Any of those any good for Bridget? Let's just get it closer to that. £16 for the largest, £12.50 for the 8mm, and £8.50 for the 6mm, Bridget. Right, okay. Right, now I was going to turn off this screen and wonder, sort this camera. You get to see me twice now. It's very strange, and I have to unplug this. Right, get to see a scary view of me there. I'm just going over here. I've got to turn that. Just a minute. I'm going back. So what do I do every single time is I forget to turn the volume on. Right, can you hear me now? You should be able to hear me on this phone, I think. Can you hear me? Let me check the comments. I've got an 814 for Bridget, please. Right, okay. I'm going to now turn you around. This is just some of the pearls, and we might be able to go out and look at the other pearls. Let me just turn you around. This is just some of the pearls. Oh, honestly, pearls never come up in the light as you would like them to under the camera. The quality of these and the colours are so beautiful. The strands of ovals. I love these little nuggety ones. These ones I think you might have seen last time, the sticks. Then we've got these sort of golden purples. There's only 4 strands of that one. Little nuggets, like little discs. Potatoes. Beautiful Edisons. Look, these are all little E's. But only that strand. All the rest are not E's. On that batch, but I'm loving the E's. These are all the natural silvers and love these. Absolutely love it. Look, wouldn't that look lovely? Just one. Look at the luster on there, everyone. The peacocks are out with the teal colours. So they've been looking for the teal colours for us because they're saying they don't really dye them that colour anymore. So they're out. Let me just turn you around, see how bad the desk is looking. Just a sec. What else have we got? So many. They're not all beautifully laid out, I'm afraid. The beautiful 4mm perfect rounds, loving those. And they go up in sizes. The little cornflakes. There's some burgundy pearls. There are some little flowers like this. Some nuggets side drilled like that. We've got some I'll just turn you around. You can see my manky desk, but don't judge me. This way. We've got they've made some of these little beady beads, look. They're kind of cool, aren't they? They've sent us some Larimar. I love these. They're such a nice colour. Some tiny pinks. And they've actually sent us some base metal findings. Some spacers, some clasps, some chains, all sorts of things there. I don't know if we're playing those yet, I haven't decided. Some coins. And then these pairs are sitting next to me on my desk. Just a sec. Come out. It's so hard to do things with one hand. Look at these. Oh, love these. So these are all paired up. They're so nice. They're nice. Then The following week, look at these little tiny topaz. Aren't they cute? Anyway, they're not next week. Getting totally distracted by all the other gemstones on my desk. I mean, that's just a little bit of that's a taster. That's a taster of what it's about. But for next week, so many pearls. We still have some little skulls left, so I might put some little skulls back in. It's just so much option. There's option, option, option. Let me go back to my desk. Just 1 second. Let's turn that one off. Turn this one on. Can you hear me again now? Yay! That was the Larimar from the Larimar King. He sent some over with the pearl guys. Lovely. 822 is the perp, you're right, Angela. For Jill. Yeah. So do you like all the pearls? Is everybody liking all the pearls? Yes, they're all looking really good, aren't they? They're all looking really good. Right, I think we're done for the evening. Thank you so much for joining us. Do direct message in if you would like anything and you're watching the live back. Your invoicing will be with you over the weekend. I'll be live again tomorrow morning at 9:30 if you want to recap or anything. You've got any requests? I think we might do some moonstone pairs of cabs. I've got a few things we could kind of pair. So I thought we might do that tomorrow morning. But just come in for a chat 9:30 tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for all your support over the last week when I haven't been feeling very well and all the lovely messages. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you very much to Angela in my ear. Really appreciate you spending the evening helping out. And we will see you again in the morning or next Thursday for a Pearl show. Thank you, everyone. See you soon. Cheerio. Bye.